check the children.
Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you. Gentlemen, I am pain.
Here's 6-year-old.
What the fuck just happened? Technical difficulties as always. I don't know. But anyway, fuck it. Unmute it. Let's rock and roll, folks. Welcome to the Slice and Dice Dreadcast, where things are fucked up, crazy, and random. That's our theme. Random, right? Slice and dice. Anyways, this is one of your co-hosts, Joey Infante, coming in from Brooklyn, New York. I'm here with my other co-host, Jim Backus, coming in from Pittsburgh. And we can't hear him for some reason. I think he's giving me the finger.
Fuck! You were just breaking up like crazy, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
Holy shit!
I'm hardwired now, baby. So I got the fucking 100 megabyte shit going on. So I don't know.
What went wrong? You weren't hearing the intro or what?
Not at all. It just stopped.
Jen, did you hear it?
I heard parts.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck it. We could just put our redo on it when we edit the podcast, the audio. But the video, you always get whacked out shit on it. You never know what you might get. And, that's what happens when you listen to the audio and not the video. But either way, it works. So anyway, we have our guest co-host for the night.
Hello.
This is Jennifer Nangle. Hello. AKA
Hello.
Queen Malvolia.
Yes, I am the Queen of Screams.
Excellent. And we'll be talking about that in a bit. But first, a little, logistics. I don't know, the aim for the day. So on the chopping block for today, we're going to talk about the classic 1984 film, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and the 2014 wilderness flick. I think some people call it the Bear Jaws, right?
Yep.
They'd be wrong.
They'd be wrong.
Ooh.
So yes, that's our two films, our featured films for discussion. This is our 20th episode, so we've done 20 episodes, Jim.
Woo! About time.
Various co-hosts. James J Mac, he had to depart. He'll be back for one more show before officially gone to his new gig where he has to work intensely for a few months training. But he'll be back to chat down the line. But in the meantime, what we're doing is having random co-hosts, all different people, from the genre world, from the Harphilia Network. I'm like ready to be like, yo, Ma, let's have you on an episode. Fuck it. I would love to see what you thought about some crazy shit like that, whatever. But that's what's up for tonight. And but before we go into our featured films, and before we chat with Jen, Jim, what's going on?
Not a whole hell of a lot, man. Just getting this damn episode together. I haven't really had anything else going on.
Your weekend.
I'm glad we finally got this weekend. What are you talking about?
Last weekend. You had a couple things going on, no?
I don't remember.
Psychic. Remember, I wanted to be like, I think Jim's lost in the house. We haven't heard from him.
Yeah, over here up in Newcastle here, that Hillview Manor had a psychic fair up there on Saturday, which was pretty fun. some psychic readings, toured the building. It's an actual haunted location, so we give tours out of there, and that was a pretty good event. Our next event's coming up in September, HillCon. It's more UFOs, ghosts, Bigfoot, all that kind of stuff. Everything rolled into one in a big haunted location. So, yeah, it's pretty fun to do, and that's why I told Jen here that we would be able to talk about some of the paranormal stuff, because apparently she had a project that was devoted to the same topic, I guess. We'll talk about that soon, but that's pretty much it, and happy we actually get to talk about a great horror movie for once, a 1947 Spanish subtitled fucking piece of shit.
But these are I mean, not all of them, but Nosferatu, come on, man, it's a pioneer. I mean, it paved the way for the genre, you know. But
well, there's a reason we scratched that episode too.
There is a reason we scratched that episode. Yes. We don't want to get too academic over here. Save that for Death by Podcast, right?
This for the B show.
The B show. So, speaking of all that paranormal jazz, the question I ask all of our guest hosts is, what is your take on supernatural, paranormal? What is your take on speculative forces of nature? Because I think this stuff is interesting. I find it fascinating, but I don't have many experiences myself. So it's easy to be a skeptic. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that I don't believe, but it's just, you know what I mean? It's real easy to be a skeptic. Look at the world. I'm sure a vast majority of humanity are skeptics. So, but before you answer that question, shall we take a drink, folks?
Oh,
in honor of the 20th episode and in honor of Jennifer. Salud.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Your Pinot Grigio.
Pinot Grigio. At least I'll drink it out the bottle, give it a little trash to it, you know what I mean?
For the episode, better slow down a little bit there, bud.
Classy yet trashy. Fuck it, it's my style. So the question at hand, right? So Jim, you guys talked, previously. He mentioned you wanted to chat about this. So what's your take?
I am a true believer and have had paranormal experiences within my family. I grew up in a haunted house until I was like 6 years old. I think
I'm living in one now.
Oh, really?
Because I've never had experiences until here, and it's nothing really crazy, but I feel like I see shit go zoom like a shadow, So I was talking with Jimmy. He's like, "Oh, shadow people, yeah, of course."
Yeah, shadow.
I'm like, "Oh yeah, shadow people, sure, yeah, no problem. It's all good." Hey, yo, what up? How you doing, guy?
Just know you're never alone.
Oh, that's for sure. Never alone.
Do you know the history of the house at all?
Not really. I gotta inquire. I could find out. I know my mother-in-law says it's haunted because it's her house. She says her grandfather's not haunted, but he just keeps it all under wraps, and nothing's bad ever happened. Nothing's bad. I mean, and I have two small children, 18-month-old and one's 4.5 now. The 4.5 always was like looking in the corners. This one, not as much, but the first one, all the time. So like, I'm like thinking, we talked on the show before about this stuff, the innocence, right? Animals, children, they're basically third eyes open,
For sure. Yeah. They're super susceptible and like totally feel things. But yeah, I grew up in a small town called Danvers, which was part of Salem and Old Salem Village and witch trials and everything like that. So the house I grew up in was 200 years older. It wasn't a part of the Salem witch trials, but it is very close to a very significant homestead in the area that was a part of the Salem witch trials. So we did a research because we have a town historian, And so I got as much information as I could from him. But from what we found out and what actually happened in the house, everything really matches up and makes sense to what happened. Nothing ever bad happened. Nothing was ever evil. It was all very calm and you know, but there's been 2 full body apparitions that have been seen in the house by 2 different people. So that's pretty cool. But for me, I don't really remember too much. I remember having like an imaginary friend, and I remember like talking to this person and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't really recall too much. I just remember like hear the stories, even to this day. My dad tells the stories and everything. So it's really cool.
My daughter, she's like, Alvin pushed me. I'm like, who the fuck is Alvin? Who the fuck is Alvin? Alvin and the Chipmunk, she tells me. So she's Alvin and Theodore. Never Simon, only Alvin and Theodore, just hanging out with her all day, follow her to school and everything. Yo, I was like, I'll fucking break Alvin's legs. What are you kidding me right now?
We're seriously like 2 dudes? Come on.
I was like, what? Yo, I'm telling you, not to go too off topic, but like I'm at the playground, you know, and it's like, you know, this is the toddler area, like the 3-year-olds, the 4-year-olds, you know what I mean? And then you get these like 10-year-olds, they ride through on their bikes. I just want to like clothesline a little fucker off the thing, you know? Oh, parent, get your fucking kid on the wraps. Keep him on that side. Sorry, rant over. Already the wine's kicking in.
And that Pinot's taking over, dude. Holy shit. Dangerous grounds right now. My wife's usually I'm the one dropping the F-bomb.
You better fucking stop. You gotta be up at 6 a.m. It's all good. So nowadays, any experiences or all from, you know, back in the day?
No, I did have one. Actually, I could tell you 2 stories. One that was really, really cool was my grandmother passed away really tragically a couple of years ago, and I was going through a really hard. Thank you. And I was going through a really hard time, so I just thought I'll just talk to her and see what happens. And right by my bed was a picture of her, and so I was like just talking to her and just kind of, you know, letting whatever it is out, whether she was listening or not, or if that's even possible. I mean, who knows? So the next morning I woke up and her picture was flipped over, like it fell over. And so I was like, oh, it was probably the wind. The wind probably, you know, pushed it over, even though I don't recall there ever being wind that night or whatever. So I tried it the next night. I closed the window and I was like, you know what, Grandma, if this is really you, like, do it again. I want to see it. And it happened the next night too. It was really crazy. But one thing that happened recently was I had a friend last weekend come over because she was doing a photo shoot with my boyfriend. And after we had finished the photo shoot, she had asked if she could leave some stuff in the room. And I was like, yeah, that's totally cool. So that night as I was sleeping, I had this really like vivid dream of this man at the bottom of my bed, this older man at the bottom of my bed. And he was like kind of clawing at me, like trying to grab my legs and pull me down.
Were you watching Nightmare on Elm Street for the show?
No, I wasn't yet.
Sounds like it.
So he was like clawing at me and trying to grab me and pull me off the bed. And I kind of like woke up and obviously he wasn't there or whatever. So I told my friend when she came over the next day to continue on with the photo shoot, and I told my boyfriend, and they were like, oh my God, that's crazy. What a weird dream, blah, 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 blah. The next night, that same night, again, she left stuff in the room and all that kind of stuff. And so again, as I was sleeping, I had a dream of the same exact man, but he was closer to me. He wasn't at the end of the bed. He was at the edge, like right next to me. And I remember looking over at him and going, ah! And I woke up and he was gone. And then the next 2 nights, like she still had her stuff there, but I didn't dream about him. So we were like, was there an attachment to something that she had? Like, what could it have been? Is it just me being crazy? You know, I don't know, but he was like, he was super real. Like he was.
Sounds like some material to work with, you know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Speaking of material to work with, tell us about you're a director. You made a full length, a short, both.
I've made a couple shorts. My very first horror short was called Demonic Attachment. It was based in the haunted house I grew up in, and that's basically what it's about. It's about a demonic attachment. At the time, I was really, doing a lot of research about the house and really into paranormal. So I really tried to give that film as much as I could and try and show a lot of positivity towards the paranormal. And of course, being from a town near Salem, I incorporated, the Wiccan religion and everything like that to it. And that was in the film festival. It still is right now. It's kind of dwindling down, but I think we were in like 12 film festivals, and I was nominated for Best Acting. I won for Best Acting, won for Best Story, Best Script. I mean, it was just an amazing run. It was great. And the whole point of making the film was to make it into a feature. So I'm still working on that. And then just recently, I put my other horror short, Slit, into the film festival. And so far, it's been a part of, I think, like three film festivals or four.
Nice.
We won Best Drama at the Women's Only Entertainment Film Festival. And then I've been also working on Miss Malvolia, the Queen of Screams.
So before we go into that, the short Slit, it's this is the one that you're now submitting to festivals.
Yes.
So you should check out the Brooklyn Horror Film Festival.
Yeah.
They just opened up submissions. I think October they have their thing. Never know.
You never know.
Never
I will
know.
for sure look into it.
Never know.
Yeah, Slit was supposed to be a part of a horror anthology. But unfortunately, that's been placed on hold. So in the meantime, I was like, let's just put it in the film festival circuit and see what happens. Yeah, so I'll look into it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll come out to New York in October. It's perfect time then.
Perfect time. The weather's nice, autumn, Halloween time. It'll be a good night. Good weekend. It's a weekend thing.
Oh wow, for sure.
Yeah, we went this past year. It was their first year, I believe, or second, and it was good. It was great, man. We had a good time.
Good.
Yeah. Good networking, So
the best. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
And before we go into Queen Malvolia shorts, right? Because you've done shorts. Until I started like really focusing on film seriously, the past 2 years, started writing reviews and now podcasting and everything. Before that, I never watched shorts. Never watched shorts. And it's like, what is the purpose of a short? You know what I mean? And, if you think about literature, right? Like writing a novel versus short stories, where you take a full-length feature and a short, kind of similar in nature, right? But at the same time, what they both do is show off your chops to get that feature. Am I correct?
You are correct. Yeah.
All right.
I also feel too that you really can hone in on storytelling and figuring out what works and what doesn't work when you have a short, as opposed to, the feature length of the beginning, the beginning of the middle, you still have a wide variety. Whereas if you can tell if you can tell a story in a very short minimum of time, in a very creative way, and you can get from point A to point Z all within that, I mean, that's just a challenge in itself. So I feel like if you can really hone on that, it really makes moving into a feature.
Right. Like everything is done with precision. You know what I mean? Like if you show an image, like we're going to talk about A Nightmare, the first thing you get is a lamb. If that was in a short, I mean, here it resonates, but in a short, it would resonate even more because it's just packed into that short time frame, just like a short story. If you read Kurt Vonnegut's short stories, packed, dense, short, in-depth, subtext galore, go into the novel, he might go on a tirade for 10 pages ranting about a character's body odor or some crazy shit, Totally.
I feel like a lot of times nowadays, a lot of writers or filmmakers put a lot of stuff into their films that isn't really necessary, or they don't really need it, just because they're trying to fill up that time. And really, they should be devoting more into dissecting of the character, or putting more into the storyline, or all that kind of stuff. So when you do more shorts, I feel like you can kind of figure that out. Like a lot of filmmakers out here, they're like, well, I gotta do my feature. I gotta do my feature. I have to do my feature, because they feel like if they do their feature, then they've moved to that next level and they can present. But I can't disagree even more. I feel like the more shorts you do, the better filmmaker you become. And that's just my opinion, and that's just me. Because I didn't go to film school. I didn't do any of this stuff. I went to acting school. I wanted to be an actor. I did not want to be a filmmaker. So it's kind of interesting how it's moved this way. But
I mean, I'm in the same thing. I want to make a movie too now. I've loved this genre since I'm 7 years old, but like I never thought I could actually make a movie, but I could fucking make a movie if I try. It might
anybody
suck,
can nowadays.
I got a fucking thing right here I could do it with if I really need to. Yep.
If you have a good story, you're already set. And you're a writer too. Oh my lordy, that's amazing.
I mean, I was going to be a nurse, so this could have not happened right now. I could have been wiping some ass, helping somebody out with their bed sores, but instead we'll talk about horror movies. It's a lot more fun,
For real.
That's why I went. I was like, I'll never forget. I became an English major. I was gonna go back to nursing. I wanted to learn how to write books, horror and fantasy shit. And then I'll never forget my first semester. My mentor and professor, shout out to Louis Swash, Big Lou, one of the most prolific poets in this country. He said, "You close the door, you do what you want," and it's so true. You go to class, I close the door, I do what I want. If I want to talk about Stephen King's essay, Why We Crave Horror Movies, in correlation to cause and effect essay, boom, I can, and I do.
For real.
You know, like, why do we watch horror movies? What are the effects of watching horror movies? So. Can
I take your class?
Hey, I would love that. I need some more students with the mojo. I just thought literature of the Twilight Zone. I took 10 short stories that were based into episodes, and we read them, watched them, wrote about them. But it was awesome. It was a Sunday morning 9 a.m. class. Fucking half the class was absent every week.
That sounds so cool.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But yeah. So, like I said, this summer I'm gonna start working on a short. That's
do it.
And I don't know if you ever read this book. Recommendation. It's called The Art of Subtext.
No, I'm writing that down right now. In grad school,
I read this book, and it just changed everything. It's like, I watched the opening segment of a sitcom, and I'll tell you the whole shit.
Really?
It really just, from everything from like staging, status play, and I talk about all this craziness on the podcast, and they fucking laugh at me like, "Shut up, you're joeying it again." But it's real. It's there.
Yes, I love it.
So check that book out. I forgot who wrote it, but if you Google it, it'll come up.
I'm sure I'll find it on Amazon. Yeah.
Short, sweet, like $8 on Amazon. Can't go wrong.
Boom! I'm sold. Cool.
So tell us about Queen Malvolia, because now I'm drinking and I'll just start talking about things that don't pertain to what we are supposed to talk about.
Should I just log off, or
Jim? Do you have anything you need to say?
I know. I was just gonna. Yo, get in there. You gotta get in there.
Did you want to talk? Did you want to talk?
You told me to drink, right? You told me to drink.
Basically, what I wanted to ask. I mean, obviously, you probably use like IMDb on yourself and look things up, and I mean, director and whatnot. I was looking at it today, and there was a couple of projects on there that I'm, or how you or whatnot. A couple of them. One was called Blue Balls.
That's not mine. That's not mine. I'm acting in it, and because it's in post-production, I can't talk about it.
Embargo.
But But it is exactly what you think it is.
Okay, and the other one was called Irrational Fear.
Yeah, I start filming that next week.
Nice,
All right.
nice.
It's
What about The Deal?
Oh, The Deal. Okay, we can talk about The Deal. The Deal.
What's the deal?
Okay, so I was suffering major writer's block last year. Like I couldn't come up with anything. I couldn't think of anything. I was just like desperate to write something and create something. And at the time, my friend Colton was like, "Oh, well, I need something for my reel." And I was like, "Oh, well, what are you looking for your reel?" And so he kind of explained some scenarios. And for some reason that night, it just kind of like clicked as to what I wanted to write about. The short film specifically for him. But basically it's about, and it's actually done so crazy amazing on YouTube, like over 2,000 views. And usually I can barely get over like 20. But it's about this woman who comes home and her apartment has been broken into, and she then meets the person in, and they have a past history, and then it just kind of shows the events of what happens when they meet again. Yeah. I'm all about the strong female badass characters. Like, so that one was like the baddest of the bad that I've ever played. It was great. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
On my other podcast last night, we just recorded Alien and Aliens. So we were talking about a badass female protagonist.
Totally. Love it.
We got another one to talk about tonight. Couple to talk about tonight. So
that's true.
It'll be good.
Irrational Fear I film next week. It's and I have a small supporting role in it, but we're going to a cabin in Wisconsin to film it. Nice. And basically it's about therapy patients that meet at this cabin for a weekend of fun and I can't say the word. I've already had way too much to drink. I'm only on like 500 calories because I'm dieting for this film. Anyway, you know what I mean. They go to be saved, and stuff starts happening.
All right. Well, what about? I'm sitting on. Would you be willing to answer like some of the trivia questions to give us a true or false type thing?
Sure.
Profile thing.
Yeah, let's do it.
I always thought that would be fun to do with somebody who actually is on the fucking IMDb.
Wait. So is this shit true? Like, you mean to tell me that there's some trivia on there?
Under Miss Jenn, yes, there is, yes.
Okay.
Oh, this might be boring, but let's do it anyway. We'll make it fun.
and this is under like, is this under her Jennifer Nangle page?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. We already talked about you won Best Actress at the award for the Massachusetts Drama Festival.
Yeah.
4 lines in a 30-minute time play.
That is true. I was a sophomore in high school, which was like last year.
Dream is to work with J.J. Abrams and Quentin Tarantino?
Yes, I do. I do. So badly, I do.
JJ, get her in that fucking next movie.
Please, call me. We'll do lunch.
This one's pretty interesting.
He'll end up with a fucking horse head in his bed.
This one's pretty interesting. Jennifer Knight in William Truett's 2016 book In the Dark, The Legend of Phantom Manor was inspired by you.
It was. I feel so terrible. I haven't read it yet. I've read like the beginning part of it. I still haven't gotten to my character yet.
But is there some truth to that?
That is true. That is 100% true. In fact, he sent me the script to make it into a screenplay, and then I got all wrapped up in Malvolia, and that's just been kind of crazy. So he ended up starting to write, and he wants to try and put it into production. And last we talked, he wanted me to be a part of it, but as of right now, I don't know what the status of it is. But that is true. That's true.
Nice.
You wanted to act after seeing a stage production of Sound of Music when you were 10.
That was completely true. Yeah. I went and saw some family friends in The Sound of Music, and they were younger than I was. And so I was pretty taken aback that they were able to like go on stage and have all this stuff memorized and hit their marks and tell this story and completely embody these characters. And it just fascinated me that I was like, this is what I want to do. So ever since then, I've auditioned and tried to do everything I could to do it.
Yo, you're a good actress.
This one's pretty interesting.
You know
Well, thank
why?
you.
Because talking to you now and watching Queen Malvolia on YouTube, it's like two totally different worlds.
She's definitely a part of me, but yes, I thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. In fact, like a couple weeks ago when I was in Florida, my parents live in Naples, Florida, and so I was getting my hair cut, and the woman that was cutting my hair, she was like asking about Malvolia and stuff because she's seen some of the episodes, and she was really intrigued by it. And so I was, explaining it to her, and I was like, da-da-da-da-da, and then I'm going to go film this movie in Wisconsin, and then, blah, 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 and the woman that was sitting next to me was like, I'm really surprised you like horror because you're so perky and happy. I was like, oh.
Oh, the misconception.
Right.
It was just like when I told my boys, yeah, I'm gonna go be a poet. They were like, "What are you, a fag?" I was like, typical.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Anyway, one last thing. Do you have a memory of playing Lucy in a production of Charlie Brown?
I did. A couple summers, some friends from high school and we put on plays and donated a bunch of money to charity. So the first one we did was You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and I played Lucy. And so we rehearsed, we made sure everything was perfect. And it was all of us like young teens, older teens, I guess. I was like 18 at the time. And so we wanted to make sure everything was perfect and right and blah, blah, blah. And so opening night, as we were performing, there was a child that was sitting in the front row, and he so wanted to be a part of the production. Like anytime we were talking as characters, like he would try and talk with us, or he would try and say something. So at one point I was like, I got to get this kid involved. So I stepped off stage and started to interact with him. And asked him to say a couple lines, and he said it, and it just made his night. And then he was quiet the rest of the performance. But that little beginning part, he was wanting to be a part of that. That's a fun memory. Yeah.
There you have it, folks. An actual person on IMDb that confirmed the trivia that's actually on there. So that's a good.
And it's all true.
It's all
now, did you write that yourself?
A couple of them I wrote, yeah. It says on there I'm a horror fan, and then it also says on there that I want to work with J.J. Abrams and Quentin Tarantino. And I think something on there about Hitchcock and Lucille Ball.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I wrote, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I left like 2 or 3 of them out. But that's pretty cool.
Excellent.
Look at you doing your research. How impressive.
Jim takes care of the talent. I
don't get to talk much, so I have to do what I can.
I take care of running my mouth, I guess.
Did you want to talk about any paranormal stuff? No?
I don't know. I enjoy hearing your stories about what you already said about, but other than that, I mean, like I said, I've been doing it since I've been researching since I was 9. I had my first experience. Woke up and saw a man standing over me in my bedroom, and that was probably the last time I could ever remember being ever scared of something. It just made me want to learn more about it. So yeah, I've been doing it for well over 20 years now, and it's a huge part of my life. I love meeting some great people and have some incredible experiences that I'll never try to convince anybody because it's none of it leave, but I know what I experience, and it's occurring and life-changing when you that kind of stuff. So hearing your stories, I could definitely relate to it. So that's cool.
Have you seen like any more like full body apparitions when you've like gone to places?
What's that?
Oh yeah, you do. Oh wow.
Yeah. Our building is one of the like top 10 haunted locations in the country that I volunteer at. So we've been on all the TV shows, the Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, all of them ones. And yeah, everything is true. I mean, experience there is real, and we never have to lie. If somebody isn't getting something when they're there to investigate, we'll take them out, and usually get activity, and normally it does happen. So the EVPs, the pictures, the videos, all the stuff I've gotten from this one location alone, I get to travel all over the country with other groups and go to all the other prisons and buildings and houses and hospitals, and it's great. I always have those experiences.
You know the spot in Staten Island? Staten Island? It's like an abandoned psychiatric joint.
Oh yeah, I've seen documentary on that one.
Yeah, we went there back in the day. I don't remember. If I see the name, it'll ring a bell. But we went there back in the day with like 13, 14 of us, you know?
Yeah.
And like we had bats and shovels. I don't know why there was shovels in this kid's trunk, but fucking we had bats and shovels. And we're just like
from New York.
I think the only thing we fucking got from that was asbestos.
Oh my God.
We didn't see nothing. We had like weapons because we heard there's like bums that hang out in there, and you know, you gotta be careful. You never know. And aside from it being like really cold in the buildings, that would probably be the only thing that there was nothing.
I grew up down the street from like Danvers State Hospital. And so when I was growing up, you know, it was totally like shut down. You couldn't enter. There was a guard at the gate. Like you couldn't trespass or anything. But, you know, everybody from high school used to break in. I was too chicken. I always wanted to, but I was too chicken to do it. There's this one guy I went to high school with, and he had this picture on Facebook for a long time, but I think he took it down because I went to go look for it the other, like a couple months ago, and it wasn't there. But he took a picture, and the whole room that he is in is filled with orbs. Just orbs everywhere. Everywhere. It was insane.
I mean,
no?
Orbs like sentinel orbs? What are we talking about?
They were like,
explain orb to me.
They were like glowing orb things.
Hold on. Okay. Being an investigator myself, that word is like fucking nails on a chalkboard to us, okay?
Okay.
What those are, graph, is dust. It's just what it is. We can prove it and recreate it every time. We're not saying that there's no such thing as quote unquote orbs, which are like balls of light flying around, because I've seen them with my own eyes, but in a photograph.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but in a photograph, ever gets like it's always dust. Especially when there's a million of them.
Be this serious. Ever.
I'm sorry. It's only because I get emails, I get people on Facebook, I get people coming to our building looking, dude, you got to look at this fucking picture, man. It's awesome. I'm like, oh, yeah, where were you? Well, I was in a cemetery, or I was out in front yard, or I was in my house, or I was in a dirty old building. Second, I'll take them out in the hallway, kick up a picture with a flash on, and I'll say, look, there's all your orbs again. What people think it is. You want to, it's cool to see. No, it's really, people think it is. I'm sorry.
The last time I heard him this determined is when he said 90% of the psychics out there are a hoax.
Oh,
yes.
Shit.
Yes, they
I struck a nerve. I'm sorry.
It's just because people, only because I guess if you don't really do this as a lifelong passion or whatever, and you do that and you get a picture like that, you want to like think, hey, I got something awesome. But when you do it so often, and you've actually like studied and debunked and disproved and had real experiences like that happens, I cannot with my own conscience say, yeah, that's a bunch, that's a million ghosts in one picture. Good job. Like I can't do that.
I wish it were.
Shit.
After we go off the air right now, you can do this yourself. Take any kind of camera with a flash on it, kick up, walk on the carpet or something, and take a picture, and I guarantee you're going to see a bunch of orbs in it.
Okay.
But I'll tell you right now, I've never been wrong. So,
Hey,
All right, touche. I believe you.
hey,
Bummed, but I believe you.
let's get the picture. Let's
had-
find out.
Yeah.
but I have had, but my own experiences were with my own eyes. I've seen balls of light shooting around, but not on a not in a picture. With my actual eyes. So I would say, yeah, those are orbs, light anomalies. But what you're talking about in a photograph with a million of them, no, that's just dust. And
What about the ones that are caught on video? Are those real?
if you're using, it all depends on what kind of light source you're using. IR light, regular UV light, flashlight. It all to dust. You can look at it come shooting through the screen, or some on video that blink frame. I can't.
Yeah.
What that is, I have those, but I've also seen dust particles just go in front of my video camera, which no, I won't ever say that's or something. I always say that's dust, but I've definitely had light anomalies on video that I can't explain, that I myself would not call dust, but I can tell you right now, in photographs, still photographs with flash taken, those are going to be dust. So
I just had an idea. Pitch NBC or CBS, whoever, CSI Ghosts. What are you fucking kidding me? Let's go. This is the newest show out. CSI Ghost Watcher. What are you kidding me?
I love
Jim will
it.
be in there. He'll be the fucking sleuth going through fucking Steel Town, CSI Pit, fucking, he's a maniac catching ghosts. Oh, I just got hype. This is brilliant. CSI fucking ghost horror. Let's go. Come on.
if you have any suggestions, head over to Facebook, look up New Brighton Paranormal. That's my paranormal group page. Feel free to give us a like and send me any kind of show ideas you might have, and I might do them for you.
Excellent. One more thing we got to talk about, and we've been jumping around it before we get into our two features, is the Queen. Let's talk about the catalyst, the birth, the whatever of the Queen, the rise of the Queen.
Well, she kind of was founded. About a year ago, I wrote a treatment for a film series that I wanted to be a part of, and it got rejected. But one of the producers, who's one of my really good friends, he had said to keep going with this idea. Because there was some potential that was there. And after he had said that, I was kind of like, well, I don't really know what I want to say. I don't really know what I want to do with this, because I really liked what I had written. And then I went to Scare LA, and that was last year. They were celebrating and featuring Elvira. And so while I was there, my boyfriend and I were walking around and stuff. There was this huge line, this like crazy line. And I got to say, Robert Englund's line was just as long this year. But there was this crazy line. And I was like, who is this for? Like, what is going on? And we figured out that it was for Elvira. And, I was never a really big convention person until this past year. So I've definitely learned a lot about the whole convention scene and everything like that. And so I just kind of like stood there and watched her and watched how she interacted with her fans. And she really wasn't a part of my generation. Like, I grew up with Tales of the Crypt and all that kind of stuff. I didn't really know Elvira very well. So here I was kind of like, wow, people like still really dig her, and it's been so long. And I mean, she still looks really freaking good too. I mean,
it's
good for
funny.
her.
It's funny you say that, because on the other podcast, my co-host Mike's like, yeah, Boris Karloff's daughter's sitting there like, yeah, give me $20. I'm Boris Karloff's daughter. Like, what the fuck? Anybody, like, I'm the one who drowned in the beginning of Jaws. Give me $20 or an order.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, she was actually like pretty there, and like the tickets for her were super expensive. So I was like really impressed that all these people were waiting and they spent that amount of money just to be like, hi, take a picture and then go. So I thought, wow, maybe there's really something to this horror host thing. Like at the time, I didn't think, oh, there's a horror host like her around. I stand corrected to this day. I found out that there is a huge database of current horror hosts that are still doing stuff like YouTube and online and all that kind of stuff. But at the time I was like, oh, there's nobody like her anymore. You know, maybe I could do something. So then I thought, oh, I'd incorporate it into the film. And then I just was like, no, I got to make her into a YouTube sensation. So that's what I did. So
that's funny because I was actually going to bring her up because I've met her. She'll be here this coming weekend. We have a Steel City Con. It's a multiple time a year a convention here in Monroeville in Pittsburgh, and she'll be here. She comes here all the time, and she's never in character. She's always just herself, you know, with her red hair, and you couldn't recognize her really if you didn't know who she was.
Yeah,
I met her a couple times, and was, you know, basically your whatnot, because obviously they're similar characters, but yours is of the new age gorier type horror stuff than she used to do, I guess. But there are definitely a lot of similarities.
I definitely get compared to her all the time, and by all means that is you know, a total compliment, and I always do appreciate it. But when I was developing the character, I had done a lot of research, and I know people don't think that I did it, but I did. And you know, a lot of people were kind of throwing a lot of her interviews at me and like, watch this and see how she created her character and blah 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 blah. So I really wanted to steer away from that and kind of go a different route, because she chose like a Valley Girl as part of her character. And so I wanted more deeper, I wanted darker, I wanted more vicious and more blood. Exactly. I wanted death.
Like, I'm fucking chilling with Edgar Allan Poe, drinking fucking gin out of a skull, smoking opium in the den. Like, we're doing it old school gothic style, you know?
For sure. I'm so glad you get me, because that's exactly what I wanted to do on the limited budget that I do have. But so I took a big chunk of Vampira. I did a lot of research on Vampira. I tried to like watch everything that I could of her. And then I also incorporated Morticia Addams. And so I try to combine the two and make them kind of like a deeper, darker. Vampirella?
Yeah, I don't know. I got this with the horror block. Shout out to the horror block. What?
Hey. Vampira was I think she was the first horror hostess, where back in like the 50s.
And like Boris Karloff was before that, when, you know, men wore tights and acted in Shakespeare.
Yes, exactly. Don't they still do that? Or is that just LA?
Oh no, they do that. They do that plenty here. Especially in Brooklyn nowadays.
Oh hey.
Oh man, I always wanted to put on a pair of tights.
Okay. You should do it on one of your shows.
Hey, Jim, why not?
I told you I would do costumes for the show. You never wanted to do it. I have so many here. I got the gimp outfit I can put on like you talked about.
You could have dressed up.
No, let's
I told you to. You don't have to.
I know.
Episode 25.
25.
Jim was like, I hope she comes on as the queen.
You know what? I should have, but she's just so dark and dreary and depressing. I want to be fun, Jen.
Yo,
you know?
I'm so happy you came on like this. No joke.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a fun podcast. But you said you never did you actually talk to Elvira when you saw her at the convention, or did you just observe?
No, she's way too expensive. I just observed.
I'll tweet that chick, yo.
Hey.
Well, I'll see what I can do this coming weekend, but no promises, but we'll see.
Okay, you never know. Exactly.
Hey.
I have an idea of something but we'll see how it plays out. I'll be there for all 3 days, so we'll see what happens.
All right, fingers are crossed.
Shit. Oh shit! Yo, it's too big.
That's true. I make things happen.
Yo,
I make things
Jim
happen.
does things that other people won't do. That's how he gets it done.
Now I'm nervous. Now I'm like, what's she gonna do? What are you thinking? I guess it'll be a big surprise. Big surprise.
Big surprise. It's all about the surprise.
Wheels are turning. We'll see.
Are you gonna give her an ill will cocktail? But give her a real ill will cocktail.
Yo,
I was walking around.
Tell our listeners what the ingredients are, and if you go on YouTube, you can watch a video of the ingredients.
Oh crap! I gotta look up the ingredients.
Oh shit! Find her on YouTube. Ill Will Cocktail. Malvolia.
I'm going. You know, my friend Garrett, who plays Victor, he came up with that drink specifically for that episode. It was just awesome. I came up with the script, but he came up with the drink, and he did an amazing job because that drink is so good.
Squeeze in a grit.
You like those Saska twins?
Really? Yes, all the
Do
time.
you know who they are? No, I don't know who they are. That's like Mike when he tells me, "You run a horror podcast. How haven't you seen this movie?" And I'm like, "The fuck?"
There is a picture I took for. Oh, let me pause that. There's a picture I took for Malvolia. It's a picture where I'm kind of doing like a seance with a Ouija board. It was like just promotional pictures, and I posted it. And this one guy was like, and I totally said Malvolia, the Queen of Screams, like it's me under my name and all this kind of stuff. He said, "Gee, I wonder what Jen Soska is working on." And I was like, "Dude, that's me. That's me." And I felt bad because everybody kind of ragged on him, but that was the first time I heard it. And then ever since then, everybody's like, "You look like the Soska twins."
Well, fuck. Now I feel like a dick. I thought I was the first one to notice it, but I'm erasing that. I'm erasing that from the audio version.
Like, delete. I can't wait to see them at a convention because I'm going to be like, "Look, I'm your triplet." Like everybody thinks I'm your triplet.
Oh, by far, absolutely, you would be. Oh my gosh.
Really? I personally don't see it, but I guess everybody else does. I don't know if it's the hair that kind of helps out.
Are you kidding me?
It's the pale skin. I have freckles, you know. I don't know.
Oh. I watch Elevator.
Jen has freckles. Malvolia has a lot of powder.
Malvolia has a lot of powder. She looks
dolled
dead.
up,
Yeah.
right? How's that process getting dolled up as Malvolia?
She's definitely a good hour because I put the hair extensions in, and then it's whitening my skin, and then it's the eye makeup, and then like the chiseling, hauling out, contouring of the face. And I'm sure you have all guys listening, so I'm sure they don't care. But then it's the lips. So it's like a good out. And that dress.
Oh man,
it'd be funny. A tutorial video on YouTube as the transformation.
To go through it.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. I thought he was going to get perverted for a second, but
no. To get into that dress, to walk in that dress, that's a workout in itself. Like I was even contemplating like going to conventions dressed as her just to kind of like spread the word. And I'm like, I don't know if I could walk around in that dress at all.
You have a hard time getting views.
If the paycheck is coming in,
I will happily walk around in that dress.
You know? And it's like, I will fucking walk around in that dress. What are you kidding me?
Yes.
Walk around, shake my ass a little, you know?
Shake your cleavage. You gotta shake your cleavage.
I got it.
All right, I have the ingredients for the Ill Will cocktail. It is
Tell us, Malvolia.
2 ounces of Appleton white rum, 0.5 ounces of creme de filette, 0.75 ounces of juice of a blood orange, 0.25 ounces of ginger syrup, which he called sweet death. And then he said, shake, strain, serve, and then garnish with a black cherry or poisonous flower if you dare. Ooh. Bartender's choice.
Ooh, bartender's choice.
Where can I find that on YouTube?
Yeah. My channel is youtube.com/c/Malvolia, the Queen of Screams. So y'all can go and watch everything there.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo!
Hell yeah.
And there's more to come. We're working on season 1.5, so things are moving and grooving.
So, it'll be interesting because you're out in LA, right? Like, yo, just walk the strip like old school style, and interview people like Malvolia on the strip,
I'm afraid I might get kicked off because you need permits for everything.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
But I might be able to get away with it. We'll see. We'll see what I can
Guerrilla
work out.
style.
For reals. Except I can't run in that dress. I'll be caught. I'll be arrested. They'll give me a warning and ticket me.
You ain't going nowhere.
Exactly.
They're just gonna laugh like,
my camera crew will like run and I'll be like, wait, I'm coming.
I'll get you. No.
Oh, Pino.
Awesome. Hey, I mean, there's so many mediums out there. It's like you got to utilize it. I tell them nobody's coming knocking on your door to say, hey, do you want to go make a movie? Hey, do you want to go write a book? No, you got to fucking do it. And it's not always easy.
And nowadays, people don't really have an excuse because, like you said, you have a camera on your phone. You have a laptop you can write on. There's no reason you cannot do it. So
unless you're the Don, because the Don, he still works on carrier pigeons and Betamax. The Don, my man, Don and Ellie. Don and Ellie. He's one of our staff writers. He writes reviews and interviews for the site, and he's in the group. Met him through an internet friend who I've never fucking talked to, but I would confide in with anything.
Oh my God.
It's crazy, the world we live
in. Hi, Don.
The Don. So yeah, the Don rocks a carrier pigeon still. So he's in like 20 minutes from LA. I'm like, dude, you're like 20 minutes from LA. Like, what? I don't get it. He makes it seem like he lives in like 1970s.
Like Iceland?
Yeah. The fuck? The Don. He's a good guy. Paisan. So that was a great first segment of the show. Only
one hour down.
We'll have to shift gears into the featured films. So what do we got for tonight? Nightmare and then Backcountry. I just keep thinking Deliverance. Every time I don't, this movie has nothing to do with Deliverance but The Woods. But I just, in my head, I keep thinking Deliverance. I don't get it. I'm sorry.
I hope you guys enjoyed the film since I was peer pressured into picking them.
Oh, peer pressured into picking.
Sorry.
That changes everything now.
Jim and I were like talking, and I'm like, "Well, what about this film?" And he was like, "Okay." And I'm like, "But wait, what about this film?" And he's like, "Okay." I'm like, "Wait, what?" I was so afraid to let y'all down. I was so afraid. So
when you made the post on Facebook and I saw the shit coming in, I right away had to say, please, for the love of God, take that post down and just pick your own movies. Because I was seeing some shit pop up there that I knew I wasn't going to watch. I had to take charge for a second.
I mean, there were a couple good ones, but, I wanted to kind of, do a new and then a flashback, an old one. So,
Well,
not a problem. No complaints.
No
okay,
complaints.
Good.
Yeah, no. None. So let's get into Nightmare, huh? So before we start talking about it, we get a synopsis. Freddy Krueger. Boom. Done. At this point, if you're listening to this podcast and you didn't see Nightmare on Elm Street, there's something wrong. Right?
Ooh. I have a confession to make. I remember watching Nightmare on Elm Street like years ago, and then I haven't watched it again. I watched the new one, the 2011 one. So, when I was at the Monster Palooza and I saw Robert Englund talking, I was like, which by the way, we forgot, it's his birthday.
Happy birthday, yes.
Happy birthday, Robert.
Shout out. Big 7-0.
I was like, I have to watch that series. Like, I got to watch all the movies again. I have to. Because my writing mentor, he worked with Wes Craven. And so I was like, I have to go back and watch all this stuff. And this was a good excuse to watch it. And I was pleasantly surprised again.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I'm going to get to meet him for the first time in September. He's coming down to Kentucky at Scarefest. So last year was the Big Friday the 13th theme. This year is Nightmare on Elm Street theme. And he came hotter last year. This year will be Freddy costume, which you can look in my photos. But both of you can look in my photos on my Facebook and see how that thing cost me a pretty penny. But
Kane Hodder, Kane Hodder is a major factor in this podcast.
He's an interesting guy.
He is incredible.
But seriously, Jim, let me know those dates. I want to try to get down there.
It's the last weekend in September. I think it's the 30th, and then October 1st, 2nd. So it's the last weekend in September. Last year, I won the 50-50 ticket giveaway for a free golden pass, so I get to go for free this year since I won last year. So.
Wow.
Nice.
And
excellent.
Congrats.
Sweet, dude. So yeah, man.
All weekend. So it's definitely huge for the podcast, and we weren't doing it back then. So last year in September. So this year it's definitely going to be. If you can make it down, dude, that'd be fucking awesome. And either way, I'm going to be promoting the shit out of us and trying to get as many sound bites as I possibly can. So and harder for at least 25 minutes last year because he's also a paranormal investigator, and we talked about him coming up to the Hillview here in Pittsburgh with his group and all that stuff, and we were chatting about that before all the other people started showing up. So yeah, it was fun.
Sick. So yeah, man. I mean, Nightmare. This is definitely this is my number two horror film of all time. When I started podcasting last year, Malvolia, I had another podcast. It was called Dose of Terror. I was doing it with my co-host Now for Death by Podcast, Mike, and another guy. And we did episode 0, our top 5. And this is my number 2, Nightmare on Elm Street. I think summer of going into 6th grade. So I was born in 84. I think we're talking maybe 94, 10. 10 sounds about right. 10, 11. First time I saw this one. Man, I'll tell you right now, I'll never forget like squinting so hard at the television screen. You know, when you're watching with your boys, you can't cover your eyes. Tough. You gotta be, you know. So I'm just like, you know, doing the squint. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's so funny because I do it to this day sometimes, and it's like if I do it, it's like, wow, this must be for real, you know. But that squint, you know, I think we all know about that squint. So, and that opening scene, I think, oh man, it still holds up really, really strongly, really strongly.
He just like bam, like goes into it, like in your face, like this is it, we're moving, and
let's go.
I didn't remember it. I think like I watched it at a slumber party and I was like, oh, it's horror, it's gonna scare me, and so I went to sleep. But rewatching this, I was like, oh my gosh, like this still stands up today. Like it definitely has its scary, gruesome moments. Like what sticks out to me is when she's in the classroom and her friend is like, hey, here I am, and it's like the blood trailing of her and like the body bag and like all that kind of stuff. I was like, whoo, brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many iconic scenes in this film, from little things like the telephone with the little tongue to Johnny Depp and Tina's murders. You know, I mean, 2 of the most prolific on-scene deaths in horror cinema.
Oh my God, crazy.
Yeah, it was so exciting to revisit this film, doing it for the podcast, because when I podcast, I get crazy on it. And from 9 to 10 tonight, I got crazy and wrote this. Woo! So And since we're doing nightmares, we don't have to like do the play-by-play like we're gonna do with Backcountry. Basically, you know, unravel. Like you just popped into the classroom scene. We all know what that is. And again, if you don't know what nightmare is, and maybe you might not because you're not a real intense horror fan, you heard of it. Hey, I saw part 3 randomly, whatever it is. This is the Nightmare on Elm Street film you need to watch because, I mean, every other one, this one sticks to being a straight horror flick. Every other one, as the series goes on, delves into comedy, delves into a lot of the stereotypical tropes that come with the genre in the 80s. And
he gets really kooky, right? Like,
yeah,
Freddy gets really
Yeah.
kooky.
He's more shtick when he got mainstream and the MTV era. It was more mainstream, and he had like of a character than it was like in the original. It's Fred Krueger. You know, it's just a man who into Freddy. Freddy's back, Freddy, and blah blah blah. But the one thing I love about this is looking. You know how we always read the synopsis, which we're not obviously going to do. If you don't know who Freddy Krueger is, you know, fuck you. We always pick these movies and we look them up, and on IMDb, you know, they give you what genre they are, and most of the ones we are forced to watch are sci-fi / comedy / rated R horror. That's it.
Thank you.
That's what I love. Yeah, so
he's feeling
bravo to you for picking this. I'm feeling very good about this.
Yeah. Cool.
As opposed to, never mind. We'll get to that.
We will get to that. All right.
Okay.
We're gonna have a good one. Have any of you guys ever seen Never Sleep Again, the documentary? It's like 5 hours.
I haven't. I want to though.
I did it in one shot. I couldn't stop.
Yep.
I couldn't. It was.
So did I.
Is it like 2.5 hours or like 3
like
hours?
5.
No, it's like 5.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's nonstop, dude. I fucking love it.
I love it.
It's so good.
I love it, man. But at the same time, like, you know, watching those and even talking about like number 2, where they talk about all the undertones of the homosexuality and everything, like I never came at the original with the lens where I'm really looking at it, aside from, you know, oh, he's Freddy Krueger, you know, you can't escape him, he's in your dreams. You know, if you think about it on a psychological level, I mean, any other slasher of those days, you can get away, you know. Think about it. All the, you know, Jaws, you want to go swimming? You're afraid of swimming? All right, I won't go swimming. You know what I mean? I'm afraid of bears and I don't want to go camping. I won't go camping. I don't got to worry about getting mauled by a bear, you know?
True.
Stay home. Guess what, motherfucker? You're going to sleep and Freddy
You
is
have to
coming
go
for
to
you.
sleep.
You know? Like,
No matter what, you're gonna sleep.
it's brilliant.
Yep.
It really is. And what's it called? They have on the Blu-ray that, you know, they have the special features, and they have one that talks about how Wes Craven came up with this. You know, they go into it and Never Sleep Again and everything, but basically it's 3 different factors. You have Freddy, who was the bully who tortured him when he was a kid. So when Wes Craven was a kid, there was a bully named Freddy.
Oh,
So
I love it.
that's number 1. And then the appearance of him is this old man that he was looking out of his window one day, and he was a kid, and there was this old man with a dirty red and green sweater and a fedora hat on, and it scared the shit out of him. You know, like Home Alone, when he like looks out and he's scared of that guy, the shoveling guy, kind of like that kind of experience. You know, like he was just like a homeless dude. You know, not doing anything malicious, but a young Wes Craven was scared of shit. You know, and then the third factor is he was read an article about these Cambodians that they were dying in their sleep, and before they were dying in their sleep, they were talking about how they were afraid to go to sleep because they're gonna die. So those 3 factors he put together and created Freddy Krueger.
It's brilliant.
Brilliant. It's so unique. It's brilliant. I mean, one of a kind, you know?
It's
one
so
of a kind.
It's so simple too. I mean, the reasoning for it is just like a simple. It's a tragic, awful reason why, but I mean, it's so simple. And then the reason why they can't sleep is just so simple, and it's just easy to just kind of sit back and just enjoy it, as opposed to, oh, I gotta figure. Wait, why are they going here? Well, why is he doing this? Da 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 da. It's just boom, 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 and you don't have to think about it. It just is what it is. Yeah.
The narrative and the editing work hand in hand perfectly, you know.
Oh, and the music.
The
music.
forget about it.
Oh God, just great. It just flows.
I mean, it's fun. You know, you have the classic, and then you have those like aggressive synthesizers that are like, you know, sick. Really, the score phenomenal, and I mean the score, major part of a film. You know, it could change everything. You could see a guy walking down the block to something like, you know, or he could be walking down the block to like, you know, and it's just walking.
Exactly.
What's funny about this movie is you bring up the score, the / music of movies. My favorite all time. Take two. My favorite all time is Halloween. Obviously, and if you know anything about the history of Halloween, it was an independent film made by college kids, and John Carpenter screened the film to the studio with zero music in it, and they said, "This isn't scary at all. We're not going to back this." Then he went home and made that piano music and played the movie for him again, and they said they were scared just from the music itself. So that's how important music is, and I think about all these horror movies now, especially like this, as prolific if the music were different or not there at all in some scenes or something like that. Music means a ton in setting tone and all of that in these movies. You can talk about slasher, you can talk about blood and guts. Music is huge in these movies and setting tone. So, and I mean, the best thing about this,
look at Jaws. In Jaws, you don't have tons of blood and guts. Quint's scene is not even. That's the worst of the whole movie. The opening scene and Quint's scene. I mean, think about it. It's one of the scariest fucking movies. That Halloween, barely any blood at all. None, I don't think any.
There's no blood.
He has it on the knife, right? Doesn't he have it in the knife in the beginning? No.
Maybe a smear on the knife.
Maybe.
Yeah, but like
a smear of blood.
but like, you know, the neck slash in the car scene, you know, all that kind of stuff. There's zero blood aside from terrible acting, but there's zero blood. But what's great about this movie is it actually saved New Line Cinema from bankruptcy. How successful it was. So all of these pieces had to come together to make this film what it was. And back then, you know, slashers were, you know, just starting out after, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Friday 13th, and then this came out. Yeah, but we wouldn't even have New Line Cinema today if it weren't for this movie alone. And then it spawned, you know, 7 or 8 sequels. So, yeah, it speaks for
already built. Dude, the fucking opening logo of New Line Cinema, right? Which was the opening logo for a couple of different films at that time. For this, that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Oh,
that
I remember the
red New Line Cinema. Like, that shit is fucking scary. You know? Now let's get a little analytical real quick, guys.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
So the opening scene, Wes Craven drops you straight up in the middle of
boom,
the most intense human, I guess, fear, you know, the boogeyman, the unknown, right? You don't know what's going on. Just the first time you ever see this film, you do not know what's going on. And it's hard to like really recount seeing it at such a young age, like what, 25 years ago, whatever it is, you know. It's like to recount that moment and think about it watching it now. Like imagine a 13-year-old, you know, that was born in 2004 watching this for the first time. You know, what would they think? Would they think this is corny, cheesy? Because they want like fucking some Captain America
Action.
Civil War.
Boom, boom, boom.
you know?
Yeah. Mhm.
It's crazy, but like we talked about earlier with the short story and the short film, everything's strategic, and Wes Craven obviously did things strategically here, where in like Last House on the Left, things just was like guerrilla, let's take the camera and go. That opening scene, you get dropped into a nightmare, literally. And what does he have there? A lamb. Like, here you have her juxtaposed to a lamb. So what are we talking about right now? This is the first time you ever seen this film, What is a lamb, actually? What is a lamb symbolic for? Lambs are symbolic. I mean, right away you think of slaughtered lamb, right? Because what goes hand in hand with a lamb? So lambs are like the most innocent victims of all the animals. You know what I mean? It's biblical. They're also symbolic for renewal. They're symbolic for the victory of life upon death and innocence, which actually goes hand in hand with both of them, right? Because if you think about it, victory of life upon death is what Freddy has now. His death brought him the ultimate life, torturing these fucking kids. You know what I'm saying? So dropping a lamb at the beginning of this fucking film in 1984 is balls to the fucking walls. You know what I'm saying? He's setting the stage for what these children are. And yeah, you might look on it and say Freddy fodder, but at that time, this is an original one-of-a-kind idea, Prolific. Lambs are like the perfect victims, right? Sacrifice.
Easy victims?
Easy victims. Easy.
Which is what like the kids basically are to him, is just basically they fall asleep and it's basically leaving lambs to slaughter.
Right.
And
think about a lamb. Right. A lamb is white, right? What is white symbolic for? Purity, innocence. So that's what these kids are, And then at the same time, what he said on a DVD commentary was, the fuck did he say? One of the main points of this movie is to show the disconnect between children and adults and how they don't listen to them, the miscommunications. Because every adult in this movie is an ass bag.
Yep.
It's true.
Think about it.
Mom's a drunk.
Mom's a drunk. Dad's an asshole cop. Johnny Depp's parents is just like, fuck this girl. She's a lunatic,
Yeah.
Like, that's your fucking son's girlfriend. What are you kidding me? So, I mean, I'll keep going. Anyway, that but that opening scene, it's just it's still terrifying. I watched it the other night in the pitch black dark. It was awesome. Headphones on, like hearing every fucking sound. It was great. It really was.
That's how I watch movies, dude.
Surround sound your ears, all right.
You're in it.
So it's funny because we open up with Tina, who really is a decoy protagonist here, because she's done in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Which one of the fucking sickest fucking death scenes. And if you we're part of the Horror Affiliate Network of podcasts, Exploding Heads, one of the other podcasts, they just did the top 20 deaths, and Tina's up there.
Was that kind of like abnormal when this film came out? I would think so, right? Like they didn't show too much blood and that kind of violence or anything.
I mean, it's 1984, so Texas Chainsaw is like 10 years, not 10 years removed, but when did
Chainsaw 74, Halloween 78, and Friday is 80.
Right. So, from Chainsaw to Friday, Chainsaw and Friday have a lot of gore, compared to the other contemporary films of that time. Phantasm has the one scene, with the blood out of the Sentinel. But I mean, ultimately, by 1984, it's like gore's, Savini's all over the place by now. Maniac came out in 80, and that was one of the most prolific head explosions ever. Yeah. So I mean, but at the same time, it fucking what's his name walked out of the movie theater. Ebert.
Fuck him.
Oh, Roger.
Yeah. So it was there, you know. Cannibal Holocaust was on the cusp. It was there. It just wasn't mainstream yet. And you know, this movie was terrifying, you know. But
Yeah.
what happened? It got watered down into schlock, basically. I mean, don't get me wrong. The first 4, I think, are great. New Nightmare is great, but Freddy's Dead is like fucking watching a cartoon, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Literally, they have a fucking video game cartoon segment.
Yeah.
And then it stemmed in like TV show.
The TV show was cool. Freddy's Nightmares.
Yeah.
It was cool. The first episode was like the court case where he was human. It was pretty cool. And then the rest of the series is him as like Malvolia.
About that, I was like, really? Okay.
Yeah. So those are pretty cool, actually. Those episodes. I'm a big fan of those 80s anthologies. Let's shift gears a notch here. Nancy, let's talk Nancy, right? Because she is our heroine protagonist in this film. What do you guys think? Because there's varying opinions on Heather Langenkamp's performance and the character Nancy. Jim,
Jen, go ahead.
Jen,
You want me to go first?
Somebody,
Jim. I know it sounds the same.
It don't matter.
You go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
Jim, let me ask you a question because you're a ladies' man, you know. Jim,
Yeah.
Jim likes his women, you know. He's a lover of the ladies, you know. Now,
Good.
Guilty as charged.
Heather Langenkamp is like.
Why did I message Jen? No, I'm just kidding.
I take it as a compliment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. She is, you know,
she was hot
like,
to trot.
She was hot to trot, but was she hot to trot? Like
Girl Next Door hot to trot?
Yeah, Girl Next Door. That sort of. She was wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what made the character what it is. It wasn't. I hate veering off of this, but it always encompasses, you know, final girls and heroines in film. It's like, you know, get the Jamie Lee character in Halloween. In no way in hell would you think she was going to of a brutal mass, you know, killing spree. Same thing with this. Is Heather obviously did not start out, you know. I think most people would have thought, you know, before she died, Tina was like the star. She had more on screen time than you know Heather did, but throughout the film, you know, she obviously got her nightmares and she started staying awake, and you know the gray hair stuff, and she turned into from the innocent to heroine and setting the baby traps and all that kind of stuff. So her character development throughout the film progressed rapidly, you know, but she was going through some really fucked up shit too. So I could see it happening. But some of the actresses that she beat out for this role, honestly, I think that she for the role. I could not look back now seeing, like, who was it? Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing, Courtney Cox. They all auditioned for it. And this, you know, she I don't think been in anything else before this. And I think she really did knock it out of the park. I think she was a right choice. The franchise, you know, past the first movie. And yeah, I was pleased with the direction it went. I mean, there were times where I could have probably done, there was a little bit of choices she made where I would have been like, I wouldn't have gone that way, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, all in all, I think it was a good choice and a good character.
You know, the story's simple, right? We have a heroine who is going against some external evil. I mean, it's been done millions of times, right? How many times has this been
Love
done?
story at the core.
Oh yes, a love story at the core. Yeah, I'm sure that just like Dark City, right? But I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Boom. She turns into MacGyver, right? All of a sudden, she busts things out, right? She's resourceful. So that's the thing about this movie. I feel like everybody in this movie besides her is an idiot. Think about it. Johnny Depp, she's like, dude, one small thing to do.
And he don't do it.
Right. Like, dude, what are you fucking kidding me right now? Really?
Well, honestly, at that point, I think most of them are very naive or oblivious to what's going on. She's like middle of it. Him, for one, I don't think he thought kind of going nuts, but I'm going to stand by her anyway. I'll let her fall asleep, and then, she's a rest. He knows she's keeping herself up. He knows she's going through some shit, but at that point, I don't believe he's ever had a real run-in with. So at that, maybe he might come off like an asshole, but knows what's going on either. Except for my girlfriend needs to fucking go to sleep.
I didn't say he was an asshole. I said he was an asshole.
Well, same.
So he was kind, very chivalrous.
Painting with the same brush, assholes, idiots, whatever. But
I mean, he didn't try anything while she was sleeping, right?
Right, yeah.
He just fell asleep.
That's what I'm saying. He was chivalrous, Johnny Depp. What? Come on. Could have copped the feel. But looked in our top
Great Street
drawer, What's it called?
Lift the panties.
But that's the thing. Like Wes Craven says in the commentary that it's about parents' ignorance towards the children, right? But it's not just the parents. Think about it, right? You have all the friends. You're telling them like, yo, we're having dreams about this guy, but yet your boyfriend is having dreams. He doesn't believe it. Fucking Tina's having dreams. They don't believe it. Rod's having dreams. Nobody believes it. You're having dreams. You still don't believe it. You don't believe this girl. It's nobody. You have cops. Fucking one dummy after the next, right? Like in a lot of horror films, right? Cops are bumbling idiots. But like all these people have a lack of empathy. Like nobody but Nancy is like recognizing a situation. Like I understand what Jim said before. Like, yeah, everybody thinks she's crazy. Yeah, okay, I'll let her go to sleep tonight. But like, no. This is what she's saying. Let's take a step back and be like, yo, what's going on? She's a straight A, the girl next door. And she's not a wild party girl that's loaded on drugs. That's maybe hallucinating. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like nobody listens to each other. They're just
right,
in
communication.
their own world. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it seemed like Tina, the girls in the beginning were having that conversation like, oh, I've been dreaming about this guy. Oh, well, he kind of pops up in my dream too. And they had that one connection. And then other than that, it just didn't matter. It didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, because when you're a teenager, you're invincible, right?
Well, what's funny is you're bringing up these things about people not listening to her or not believing her or something like that. I can go back to conversations where I can talk to them blue in the face. If somebody doesn't want to believe what I'm telling them, they're not going to believe me. Believe that this dream demon is killing people, they're not going to believe it until something happens to them. And that's just how it is. There's a lot of skeptics out there. There's a lot of non-believers out there until something happens to them specifically. And I think at on a level that's what this is about until you get drugged down, in your fucking of blood coming out of it. That's when you'll start believing.
It's so funny because that's the parallel to humanity, right? Yeah, we're not talking about fucking Nightmare on Elm Street, but like just your daily struggle of life and in general, if you apply it to that, right? It's like be active and positive. Don't be fucking a passive ignorant,
Yeah.
Look at her.
pretty much.
She's reading fucking books on how to set booby traps. Like, she's being fucking productive here. You know what I'm saying? That's why she can get it done in 20 minutes.
A lot more than kids today. So everybody needs to go back and watch Nancy be very, very productive and get her.
So, you know, this I mean, there's so much shit here to go through. We didn't talk about so many things. We didn't talk about the bathtub scene. We didn't talk about the end yet. But like, one thing I want to talk about is, all right, we're talking about dreams here. Is there a possibility that this whole movie is a dream? Because the ending, right? You get one of the, yes, there's alternate endings, but the official ending, right, is Freddy gets set on fire, jumps on the mother, goes through the bed, dissipates, comes back through the sheet, goes to get her. She turns her back. The Balinese way of dreaming that Johnny Depp talks about earlier in the film, where you turn away from and they lose their power. And that's what happens. He dissipates. Boom. She walks out the door, and it cuts, beautiful editing job, right to the front door, and everything is white. The mother's dressed in white. She's wearing like a fucking tennis outfit, all in white. You know, everything's pristine, right? And what does she do? Goes down the walkway. Everything's great. Love you, Mom. Ciao. You know, all leave it a beaver. Goes in, and what happens? Whoof. It ain't over yet, motherfuckers. Freddy's top comes down and drives off. And Mama, what does Mama get? Ripped through the window. Right?
Nice rubbery body.
Oh yeah. Which, you know what? That still looks better than CGI shit that comes out nowadays. I fucking can't stand it.
I'd much rather have that. Yeah.
I'm sorry. But you know, in the Never Sleep Again documentary, there was a little friction because Wes Craven wanted the movie to end on the happy note. Right? Robert Shea's like, no, we can't. We got to leave a big question mark here. And you know, he said because
the money,
it didn't pack weight, which I agree. It definitely wouldn't have packed weight, you know, of horror film if it ended.
Plus, you leave it open for the next film. You know,
yeah, he was the producer. It's all. He was the producer
on
a lot of these. So yeah, that was that, right? But hey, can you blame a guy? You know?
No, and he was smart. I mean, look where it went. Absolutely.
Can't blame him, you know.
Artistically, I'm sure Wes was like, meh, but you know.
So
maybe this was his one movie, and there wasn't going to be, in his mind, a sequel. Mm-hmm. But Bob Shea is just, you know, hey, this is my company. I want to make money. I'm not going to let you do one, kill the dude, and hey, that's it. Brand new idea. Every single movie's, you know, dimensions the same way. All, you know, everywhere they all wanted to have the sequels, which is why all the killers always, you know, there's always that jump scare at the end where part 2's coming, part 3's coming, part 4's coming, part 10's coming.
Look, but by the time this comes out, Jason's already 4 films deep.
Yeah,
you know,
that's why he knew not to leave it. Hey, no. We're having sequels because these other movies are having sequels. Yeah. You know, at that point, Jason's 4 films deep. Halloween took a 3-year break, but they had, 2 came out in 81, and they were 3 deep at come 84. So he was going to let that not be a franchise.
Mm-hmm. Jaws is already, 3 deep?
Jaws was 75, already, yeah.
So, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But what else? There's so much to say here, man. Let's take a trip back to the classroom. Things get a little academic here, where we get a little Hamlet, right? The teacher, who's an iconic character actor, Bob Shea's wife. I forgot her name.
Lynn Shay.
Lynn Shay, yeah. Detroit Rock City.
Hey.
Yeah.
With Robert Englund and 1001 Maniacs.
Yeah. That scene, right? What is seen is not always what is real. Quote from Hamlet, right? that scene, I think, one of the most important scenes of the film that relay what this movie is really about, right? Interpretation, human nature, how we look at the world, how we look at the life, right? But then, they're talking about Hamlet here. So that's a quote from Hamlet. Then they give another quote from that Shakespeare said, that something in human nature that is rotten, a canker, as he put it, right? So there's something about human nature. There's always going to be a canker. Think about it like a fucking canker sore, like everything's all good. Then you get a fucking canker sore and it sucks for a couple days, fucking really, if you think about it, Freddy's that canker. I mean, Springwood, Ohio is a blip in the world. You know what I mean? Freddy Krueger is focused on that. He's that one canker there. This canker's all over the place, But again, going back to the idea that this is a dream, right? We talked about the ending in the beginning, right? In the ending, you get the jump rope girls and that end scene, right? And guess what? You get them in the beginning too. In the beginning, when she wakes up from that dream, it cuts to three girls jump roping, and then into the girls and boys walking up the block talking about the dreams. That was real. The girls were there because at the end scene, the girls came again. Now, if you look into episode 2, I'm thinking fucking Star Wars. If you look into Freddy's Revenge, right? When Mark finds the diary, it says that the mother committed suicide, right? Well, do you think she really committed suicide, or was it Freddy? And then it's like basically insinuating that last scene was the mother's dream.
Really?
So like, what is really going on here? Because if this is all a dream, Freddy has control of everything. And if Freddy has control of everything, well, it makes total sense, because the one thing that you can say is, oh, well, then why did he, she beat him? Well, think about who Freddy Krueger is. He's a malicious torturer. He loves to fuck with you, right? Well, guess what? He just made the ultimate fuck you to Nancy. Oh, you thought you won. Everything's great. Guess what? It ain't. That was just me fucking with you, So you have the jump rope girls. You have, the quotes from Hamlet in that scene, right? But then one other piece of information that I think confirms it is madness, the descent into madness that Nancy ensues. Because if and Jim really illustrated earlier, right? If you're one of these other characters, she's fucking nuts. She's losing her marbles, right? Think about it. In that scene when it was in the hospital, which definitely pays homage to The Exorcist, the doctor says, if you don't dream, you go, which is basically you lose your marbles. And Nancy's not sleeping. She's awake for like 3 days.
Yeah.
So what's really going on? You know what I mean? That scene with the phone, right? Like, if you want to talk logic wise, that's breaking the rules. If this is not, if this is whole thing is not a dream, it broke the rules right there. Nothing else breaks the rules. So it's like, are these little plot holes? Is this me joeying the shit out of it? That's what we call it, Jen. Joeying the shit out of it.
I mean,
I don't
he
know.
could have also been kind of giving little bits and pieces to make the viewer decide.
It's a lot of interpretation. A lot of interpretation in this movie. What you think is happening, what you believe is happening, what makes it make more sense to you. Person can make this movie their own movie at some point, and whose dream is it? Is it real? Was it all a dream I just watched? It's all up to us to believe what we want to believe, and that's definitely.
Because if you think about it, right, when you have fantasy and you have reality and they blur, that's madness, right? If you're a person who is walking down 6th Avenue fucking screaming about, the rapture or some crazy shit, right? You're in a descent of madness. The reality is you're walking down the block in Manhattan at 4 p.m. On a Monday afternoon, but at the same time, in your head, fucking all hell is about to fucking take over your life, the world. So what is that? A dream? Madness? Are you sleeping the whole time? I don't know.
In between? Are you in between?
In between. Right.
And what sleep deprivation does to the brain has a lot to do with maybe what wasn't happening or what we think is what she just believed was happening, and she was just really just get you 8 hours of sleep, girls. Come on now.
It's true.
What it comes down to is Nancy was just tired the whole time.
She needed some Ambien. That's what she needed.
Yeah.
She needed some Ambien. Fuck Hypnosil. Ambien.
Some NyQuil, something.
All right. Well, before we throw our ratings down on this one, and before we move on to Backcountry, let's talk about the sequels. How do you guys feel about the franchise as a whole?
Jen?
I have to rewatch them. I haven't caught up with everything, but I remember Freddy becoming very hokey and very like character-ish, and so I don't know. I feel like number one was number one. Everything else was just kind of like. But I'm gonna go and rewatch all of them. I am.
What the fuck? Sorry.
What the
You
fuck?
didn't like that answer? I should have watched them all.
Sorry. Yeah, I when I was younger, I loved them all. They were all great, but looking back on things, number one, obviously my favorite, then followed by number 3, Dream Warriors, then New Nightmare, Part 4 and Freddy's Revenge tie, and then 5, and then Freddy's Dead. I love it, man. It's one of my favorite franchises in horror. One of the catalysts of me being in love with the genre. Robert Englund, happy birthday again. You are one of a kind. And the question is, can he be replaced? A lot of people say, oh, yeah, Freddy, of course, could be replaced. But can he really? The character, yeah, can be replaced.
I'll answer that as no. No. The fact that, and I'm much like Jen here. I do have to go rewatch all of them again. I've watched here and there throughout the years, but like New Nightmare, I watched recently. I love New Nightmare. I thought that was such a smart idea, just lifting that veil between reality and film, and the way they wrote that was just perfect. And that was made in '94, so that was only done 10 years after the original, as opposed to all these other ones that were like 15. But that was the last original series, before the remake, I think. So, but the character itself, Robert Englund. Nobody can replace Robert Englund as that character. You can't. They tried. The remake was very, very panned. As
I mean, and both of you guys panned it. I don't hate it at all. I don't think it's bad. I think it gets a bad rep because it's Robert.
Way, okay.
This is not.
Is it? I didn't despise it, but I really didn't like the choice. I know there was a lot of people. There were a lot of people, vying for that role at the time, but didn't see him as the best fit, I guess. Very dark, as a lot of those movies, those remakes were. The Friday remake, the Nightmare remake. They're all very dark and really weird looking. They're all shot pretty much the same way. And nothing compares to the original, especially Freddy becoming the character it did become, all because of Robert Englund being how he was, who he was, being the only killer who talked. Made it be able to be a full character instead of just a guy in a mask just slashing the shit out of people. This was a personality character. This was somebody you could actually look at as a person in a movie, not just a killer in a movie. Like he made Fred Krueger throughout the years. Without him, I don't think there would have been any other movies that I can think, Freddy now. And it's hard to imagine him or that character being played by anybody else. So I feel how I do about the remake, but yeah, this is just very well done. Shout out, everybody involved: Wes Craven, Bob Shea, Robert Englund, Heather Langenkamp. Everybody who made this movie is just a mesh of people.
Yep.
And it was at the perfect time too. Like it was just planets align type thing. And
so so Jen, we rate out of 5 on a 0.5 scale. We give zombie heads. So I'll throw mine up. 5 out of 5. I mean, this is classic. There's me looking at it as a fan and looking at it as a piece of art and one of a kind. Holds up the test of time, in my opinion. I know my co-host Mike on Death by Podcast disagrees. He thinks it doesn't hold up, but watching this the other night in the dark, I watch this at least once a year. I mean, in multi different mediums, whether it's with my daughter or with my wife in the light or whatever it is. But watching it the other night in the dark with the headphones on, like I really, really just was blown away. And like I said, you can't touch this movie. It's really one of a kind. Now, Trin T, who I don't know if you're listening right now. Yo, Trin, if you're listening, holla at me, Trin T. There is many adaptions of Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know if you guys know about that. And you know about that?
Sure.
So
I'm like, what's going on?
all right. The other night, Trin T on Facebook posted the Nightmare on Elm Street adaptation from Bollywood.
Oh no.
Holy shit. I'm telling you, first of all, it wasn't that bad. I didn't watch it all. I just skimmed through it, But dude, I'm talking about not one, but multiple dance numbers.
Yeah. I posted one about Friday 13th about a month ago. I didn't watch it though, but I posted it in a group. From different country.
Oh gosh.
Yo, Trin just said, "Oh yeah, that's an experience." It definitely was, dude. Holy shit, man. I'm talking up and it was nuts. It was called Macau or some shit. I don't know. But Trin T from our group page, it's on his if you go check that out. Or probably you could just Google Bollywood Freddy. It'll fucking probably come up.
Honky Tonk Buffalo on YouTube says Jenn freaking Nangle rules.
Thank you, Glenn.
Shout out to Trin T watching. Shout out to Trekster watching. Everybody on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Keep commenting. Please share and subscribe and let everybody know what we're doing over here.
I'm being very loud. I just got a text.
Dick.
What does it say?
I'm being very loud.
Oh.
In the house. Jen, what is your rating on this?
I give it 5. And the reasoning for that is because all the practical effects, they were all practical.
Phenomenal.
Amazing. Ooey gooey bloodiness. I mean, it was just Oh gosh, the face coming in from out of the wall. I mean, there's just so much, but like that alone, just and for the film being like as old as it is, and still just being able to just sit back and enjoy it, and that's all I got. That's all I got to say. Gives me a little speechless.
This is officially.
Makes me want to cry.
After 19 previous episodes, this is officially the first movie rated 5 out of 5.
Whoa.
Heads on my behalf also.
Didn't we cover Jaws?
We did, and I don't think it got 5 out of 5.
Really?
Jack, I might be an asshole, but I might be right too. So I'm going to stick with it. Fuck it. But when you know so much about the backstory of this film and you realize how hard it was to make and the way, the kill scenes were done, especially Tina's death, they were actually in a rotating room and, all the blood during the scenes were just, they had to clean up afterwards.
Yeah, those were seamless too.
One take chance shit. And it's nuts. It's definitely worth 5 out of 5. And it's, definitely stands up. I can watch it like it was fucking brand new and have the same respect for it. And obviously still stands today. Robert Englund turning 70 years old is still being a huge draw at conventions, and that speaks volumes to just one character. Not dissing anything else he's ever done because he was an incredible actor before this, but known for one thing makes you know that you did something good.
You did it right. Yeah.
You did it right. So
you did it right, boy.
Not many people can name who played Jason besides Kane Hodder, correct? Not many people can name who all played.
I bet you a lot of people in the Horrorphilia network could, but I can't.
But not many other.
You. Oh no, not I bet you. I wanted to ask. Freddy vs. Jason.
Fuck you.
You're getting put on the spot. You got to pick one.
God.
Who's it going to be? I'm Freddy. That's easy. But
you're not talking about the movie, right?
Oh no, I'm talking about
choosing.
Your.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, real. Okay. No. Fuck. Shit.
Maybe you do want to talk about the movie instead, huh?
I'm very. Oh God, no.
I enjoyed Freddy vs. Jason.
I did too.
Myself. I wrote a better script myself back then before that movie even came out. So when it was made, I was like, "Son of a bitch." And I back then, like people were, I submitted it. Like people were submitting scripts before it was being made, and they picked this over mine, which was way better. And I even wrote a Freddy versus Michael movie too, which I'd never submitted because it's just too damn good, and I don't want to rip it off.
Robert Englund did say that they were also throwing around an idea of Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Yeah, that's been around for many years. Well, you got to think about it. Okay, realistically, if the script for Freddy vs. Jason wasn't how it was, does Jason sleep? He's dead. Like, does Jason sleep?
When does he take a dump?
Like, how would Freddy get to him? Technically, he's a dead guy.
Yeah.
So, aside from how they wrote that script, how would they have even come in contact with each other? So, but the only way to kill Freddy, is to bring him out into the real world, and he becomes human. Doesn't die, obviously. If you've seen fucking spoiler alert. But
Freddy Jason's the one that lets you know he doesn't die, right? Not fucking part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No. But I'm just saying. Obviously, you can't. If you watch, Jason Goes to Hell, motherfucker gets blown to bits just because a damn doctor eats his heart. He comes back to life, and then so he can't die now either. So Freddy can't die, Jason can't die, so nobody can fucking win.
Yeah, stalemate.
Realistically,
stalemate, motherfucker.
What's that? It's gonna be Ollie. It's gonna be Ollie Frazier just going 20 rounds. Nobody's gonna win. But
no wonder why that Never Sleep Again documentary was 5 hours, because I think we'll sit here talking all night about fucking Nightmare on Elm Street.
It's true.
That speaks volumes to how good it actually is.
Oh yeah. And speaking of I just typed that because Trinity just said it's rumored he's gonna do it one more time. That would be
Who, Freddie?
Yeah, that'd be fucking rad, dude.
He's actually it's not a movie. It's a documentary on
putting the makeup on.
So anytime you see something on Facebook, Robert Englund playing Freddie one more time.
New bottle. See what you did to me?
Oh dang.
Unless there's something I missed,
Dangerous.
which is what you're seeing on Facebook is much like Doug Bradley recently, he did it for a documentary type thing. Robert Englund did it Freddie for a effects makeup thing because he respects the makeup artist who made Freddie. It was never the same in each movie. There was different makeup artists for every movie, and that's why he did it. But he I don't think he'll ever play Freddie in a movie again.
I don't think he physically can.
No.
I don't remember if it was one of the sequels or the original, but one of the makeup guys was like talking about how it must have been the original, how to come up with Freddie, and he said he was just like at the pizza parlor fucking playing with his pizza. No joke. I was like, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes, Trin, not everything on Facebook is true. I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
I have to tell my students that. I'm like, not everything, just because it's a .org website doesn't mean you could cite it for your paper. I have a .org website and I could take my top off with Olaf nipples on it. Doesn't fucking mean you can use it in your research paper.
Oh my God.
Oh my. All right.
All right. So here we go. We could keep talking about Freddie, Robert, and the rest of the crew, but we need to shift gears because it's 1 a.m. and I got to be up in 5 hours. And it's probably still sunshine by you, Jen.
No, it's 10.
10.
But kind of.
Kind of, right? 10 is good.
10 is good.
All right, so let's shift into the last feature for the evening. And this one we will the fuck out of here. Go, I got the giveaway prize, except I took the tag off by accident.
So we'll staple that back in.
You know, Death by Podcast has the giveaway from Mike's bag of DVDs, but on Slice and Dice, we're going to have our first giveaway. And it's the Ash versus Evil Dead socks. The tag's off, but they're brand new. I didn't wear them. Don't worry. They are brand new. The tag I ripped off by accident because I was just fiddling it while you guys were talking. 98% polyester, 2% spandex. Machine wash.
Just tell them how they can win it.
How can you win that?
How can you win this? Well, the first 10 people, no, not 10. The first person to leave us an iTunes review gets them. Go.
Yeah. And listeners, okay? We know we're getting a lot of listeners throughout the month.
Oh, yeah, we're getting listeners. That's for sure.
People don't like to comment.
Reviews.
And
that's okay.
We want some feedback.
It's
we want to
scary.
hear, you know.
Yeah. Luckily, our host, the boss, came back today. The boss got banned from Facebook. Jay Lloyd. Our boss,
yeah, he did.
He got banned from Facebook. It's the second time this month.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And he came back today. But, you know, he runs the Heartfilia Network and he gives us our stats every month. And I mean, we get fucking like 500 plus downloads a month between the 2 episodes. So, I mean, somebody's listening. Give us an iTunes review and I'll give you some fucking socks.
Socks, guys. Socks.
Not just I'll open them up so you can see how cool they are.
Yeah, we'll start doing that. You know,
the Evil Dead socks, not worn, like the DVDs that we give out half the time. I got the tag. I just ripped it off because I fiddled with it, guys. Don't worry.
And if you start doing that, we'll definitely start doing that more often. So somebody get over there on iTunes to give us a review.
I'm going to put it in the box.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Box. What's in the box?
What's in the box? That should be a segment on the show. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
You're not going to want to see what's in mine.
Wah, wah, wah.
Dude,
We could have went a
all
lot
my
of
shit
places
is
on
in
Slice
boxes.
and Dice Dreadcast tonight.
Oh,
We're going to talk about Backcountry.
I feel
Yes, you are.
I feel like this is gonna be a quick conversation about Backcountry.
Yeah.
I want to say goodnight to Trin. He has to go to bed, and the lid.
Woo! Trexter and Trin. Good night, Trin. And by the way, Trin just started a new page on a new group on Facebook, Now Listening or Now Playing. I forgot. Shit. Trin, Now Listening, Now Playing. One of them. Where's my phone? And I'll tell you. I don't even know where my phone is nowadays.
Nowadays. I know where that Pinot is.
For real, for real. What do they do with it?
While you're looking for that phone, I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of Backcountry.
Synopsis.
It's very well. It's one sentence, so that should tell you a lot about this film. It says an urban couple go camping in the woods and find themselves lost in the territory of a predatory.
For real though, where's the fucking cell phone?
You had it because you got yelled at.
I know. That's why I want to make sure I got it.
You're going in the
I didn't
box.
put it in the box. You'll have to call me.
Is in your Welch's box back there?
No, those
Are
are my
they a
daughter's
sponsor?
gummies.
Oh,
Better watch out. Yeah, we gotta tape that shit. They don't pay us anything. Fuck them.
yeah. Black that out.
God. Oh, I got it. That's what happens when you put the damn thing in places you never put it. Sorry, guys. Backcountry, written and directed by Adam McDonald. Right? Was I right? I
Yeah.
didn't even have my book open yet. Woohoo! I love movies that are written and directed by the same person.
Adam Mack.
A-Mac. You should meet J-Mac. And we'll have a show.
Now, there were only 4 people cast in this movie, so it was a very cheap one to make.
I know, and I was so pumped for Eric Balfour,
Eric Balfour.
but he was in there for like 0.5 seconds. Oops, spoiler. Sorry.
Those are up. If you don't know Eric, he was in Haven, Skyline, Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake,
6
blah
feet
blah
under.
blah. Also, 6 Feet Under and
Cabin Fever.
Buffy.
He was in
You know
Cabin
how?
Fever?
Yeah, he was the dude with the shotgun in the woods, walking around like a jackass.
What?
Really?
That was him.
Was
yeah.
he?
Yeah. Pretty sure. Jim, you got it open, right?
Yeah. No.
We're all looking at our cell phones right now.
Yeah, I know.
No, I don't believe he was in that.
They look like twins, though. Oh, maybe not. I'm
It's
bad.
not sure.
I just learned who Tom Hardy was.
Oh, I love Tom Hardy. I love Tom Hardy. Love.
we got?
Oh, 6 Feet Under. That's
6 Feet
where I
Under.
know him from.
Yeah,
Oh, and
he got a little
Texas
kooky
Chainsaw.
in the end.
Oh, and 24. Oh, he makes so much more sense now when you look at Wicked. And What Women Want. That was a good one with Mel Gibson.
His daughter's boyfriend?
Yeah.
The
It's
older
all-
boyfriend? Yeah.
It's like the floodgates just open.
Woo.
But who was that boy from Cabin Fever? So do I.
Mm.
I was just holding it for the show.
The Fever's not him, though. No, I know that.
No. Who is that guy? Oh, James DeBello. They kind of look similar. They could pass for brothers. All right, let's talk about this movie.
Okay.
Sure.
Backcountry. It's
And
funny
you remember how I gave Nightmare on Elm Street the big, it says it's rated R for horror, rated R for drama, thriller, horror.
No, you read it wrong. Drama, horror, thriller.
Thriller.
You cheated. It's the second one. But you want to know what?
Yeah.
Oh, Jen, I know we're going to say the same thing right now. So you say it.
So I'll go first. I'll be honest with you. I was watching this and I was like, how is this a horror movie?
Damn,
Thank you.
I thought you were going to say how, there's a major shift in the tone of the genre over the past couple of years where now we're infiltrated with horror dramas, which doesn't make it not a horror movie. It's just a horror drama.
Oh, I'm with you on that because Slit got voted best drama. So it's a drama horror thriller.
Yeah,
but I always thought it was a horror movie.
Interpretation.
I mean,
exactly.
The lines blur, The lines. I mean, dude, that fucking mauling was. All right, listen. If you never saw Backcountry, don't listen. Turn it off because we got to talk freely at this point. It's late in the night. We're drinking, and that's it.
Actually, based on a true story. I didn't know that.
By two guys that got mauled by a bear.
No, this is Jacqueline Perry and Mark Jordan in 2005 were attacked by a bear in Chapleau, Ontario, Canada. So a woman and a man.
Oh, my bad. I read that wrong late last night.
There you.
But
don't worry. Jim does episodes and doesn't watch the movies.
Did you watch Backcountry?
Yeah, I did watch Backcountry last night.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
I want to know what love is.
I made you pick movies. I bothered the fuck out of you. I'm not going to not watch your movie.
Yes, and I have it recorded on video. Boom.
We were excited for this show.
Good. I like it.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
We might have to have you on more often.
Oh, don't tempt me. I will come back.
Ooh. Yeah, but no, the Queen might make an appearance.
Maybe the Queen will be here next time. All right. So what I'll say about Backcountry is, thought it was beautifully shot. Thought it was very well acted. I thought it was an interesting story. That mauling of the bear was pretty intense, pretty insane. Like, I didn't see it coming. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Leg and blah, blah, blah. And then he caught her and what. And then her running and trying to get away from it was kind of blunt. And then it just seemed to like end.
Yeah.
It just seemed like there could have been a much more build-up than climax. Like, we're watching this couple, basically disintegrate because they got lost. All of a sudden, he's a fucking loser. Can't do anything right. Like, I'm like, come on, dude. You just tore the shit out of this dude because you got lost. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but I
understand why.
No, go
ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say, I understand why it was in the story so that they could have that conflict and they could have that pull and push, but yeah, I feel like they could have done better with instead of like taking like a quiz in the car ride up there, like, oh, he doesn't make me breakfast in bed, like, or like nitty gritty stuff, like open the Cosmo and let's go through those. I mean, I don't know.
Scenes where he saw the bear claw in the dirt and didn't tell her. Okay, there's going to be a fucking bear. Right. Like, that from her.
Because the poster didn't let us know when we walked into the theater.
Well, that's very true. But if you saw a bear footprint, why would you keep going after you've been warned by the one dude in the beginning?
I'll tell you exactly why. Machismo.
Well, no, her comment is, why are you always trying to impress me? So if he would have like told her that, she would have wanted to leave and he wouldn't have been able to take her on this trip. And well, look who's fucking,
You got to look at this character.
I understand.
No, go, Jen. Go. You go.
I was going to say, and I understand why Eric Balfour, his role was in there to push him to go to that other I forget what section of the woods it was, like the Black Woods or whatever. I get it. And it was like a macho thing. And it was like, whose dick is bigger, blah, 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 blah. But then that was it, you know? And it was like, I'm going to prove that my dick is bigger, blah, 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 blah. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the thing about his character is, you know, this woman loves him, right? This woman loves this guy already. But for some reason, he just has insecurities where he has to keep impressing her. You know, he's in the shop. The guy's like, dude, take a map. Nah, I got this. I've been this tons of times. Then later you find out, oh, since I haven't been there since I was a teenager, blah, 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 blah. You know, even see, I don't even think that the Eric Belfort character and him were like going head to head. I think it just, what it did was just expose who, what's his name was, I want to know his name. Alex. Who Alex really was, right? He was a jealous guy. He was an insecure guy. He loved this woman. It doesn't mean he was a bad guy, but that's just who he was. You know, he wanted to make her happy. He wanted to impress her. He wanted to show why she should be with him, you know, because he was about to propose to her too.
But you got to remember, he knows how terrified of bears she is, and when he sees the bear print, he then keeps going, like, because
he's selfish. But at the same time, he wanted to propose to her. Like, this is a big moment.
This area by the waterfall, blah blah blah. I don't know. Does this even exist?
The scene when he comes back. He's back with the firewood, and Eric Belfort character is there. What's his name? Brad, I think it is.
It's Irish, right?
You know, he's obviously,
we'll call him Irish.
Irish.
Which why did
he have an Irish accent? But anyway.
Whatever. He's from Dublin. Yeah, you come back from cutting wood, and all of a sudden, a stranger's in the woods talking to your woman, and you know, right there, you know, when he made the comment of it was a misunderstanding, and then after he was getting ready to leave, it came back as what was the misunderstanding, and all that kind of. It was kind of a weird there of just men versus men type shit, and at that point, I think it pushed him even further to get where he wanted to go and show her that I'm the man you want to be with. I'm the man that, and you know, all that kind of shit. So I think it all had to do. His own ego got him, basically, and that's
definitely, definitely, and
drop something.
That character, Irish, what? Oh,
Irish. This is professional show.
Very professional here. Irish, you know, when he comes there to when he leaves, he obviously is in the bag. Right before that incident, he takes a mad swig off his flask. So, you know, he was in the bag. He was probably a little ticked off, like, but by the end, when, you know, he never comes back into the film, but which is a great. You're waiting for him to come back, you know. By the end, you find out, oh, he's was a really a tourist guide or whatever. And so now that end, right? I know you were like, oh, she's just laying there and that's it. But like, think about that last shot, right? From like a cinematography standpoint, it's like her reaching out. You got her ring, right? You got him running towards her, and then it comes back, and it's the look on her eyes. Because I mean, these are great actors. The look on her face throughout the film is just short terror, right? Horror, and then it's just like this sense of ease in her eyes, in her facial expressions, which I think is a lot more powerful than just like, you know, clichely killing off your characters or, you know, whatever kind of cheesy ending it could have been. Think about
it. Now I want to see the sequel of those two together and him actually being able to find things in the woods and get her out safely. That's probably what she really wants.
Listen, I'm a city slicker. You put me in the woods, I like it when somebody's there to guide me. But if I'm by myself, I ain't putting no fucking stents next to my leg and walking. I'm just gonna fucking cut my own throat or something.
Yeah, no way. No,
I ain't lasting. I'll just swim.
Sleeping in a tree, I would have fell out.
Yeah, I was like, yo, this chick is falling, yo.
So, but I mean, let me ask you both this: like, do you think there was enough foreshadowing in the movie or would you have liked to seen a lot more build up before the attacks?
I would have liked a little bit more build up, but again, I mean, I don't really know how much more build up about a bear can you do.
I see. I thought it was a good blend. I mean, this is an atmosphere and a character piece. You know, this isn't about the gore, even though that gore's top tier looked fantastic. You know, this is a micro budget here. This is not a big budgeted film. You know, so you have to work with what you have. You know, and what do we have here? The woods. We have atmosphere. What do we have? We have two characters in the woods. So what do we got to do? We got to show who these characters are. We got to show a representation of the complexity of humanity and the human condition, all while trying to build tension and conflict with just two people and a bear and nature. It's not easy.
Do we think that bear was real?
Yeah.
Because it was real, right?
Yeah. And you guys want to know something? I did a little research into the film. So Adam McDonald spent 3 years researching black bears for the film. All right. So guess what? All these there was an article written in it's called Outside Live Bravely. I guess it's like an outdoor thing. So there's an article called How to Survive a Black Bear Attack. We asked an expert to watch the horror movie Backcountry and break down the myths and realities of encountering one of the forest's most intimidating animals. That's the synopsis. So again, the article is How to Survive a Black Bear Attack. Type that and Backcountry and you could probably get this. And literally they say, how realistic, this is a quote, how realistic is the film's climatic bear attack? Almost dead on. So, and they talk about like real deal research in here. So how realistic? So in 2011, a study called, quote, Fatal Attacks by American Black Bear on People, 1900 to 2009, from the Journal of Wildlife Management, researchers determined that 78% of fatal attacks took place during the day, which is when this does, right? And most commonly in August. And look, this is autumn, all the brown leaves and everything, right? In incidents with survivors, 95% of them didn't sense the bear's presence until it was within 160 feet, just like her, right? Okay. It attacks on more than one person. Typically, the bear claims one victim and drags that person's body away, in parentheses, for dinner. In several cases, the same bear returned later to kill again. Now, this is real deal statistics here, Mm-hmm. Now, there's one flaw, one thing that they said it wasn't real. When you mace a bear like that, it won't come back.
Oh, it won't come back?
Yeah, it won't come back.
Oh.
It won't come back. So like, how it comes back, like Jaws style, it won't come back. Aside from that, everything else is authentic to the T.
Interesting.
And that put the rating up a couple of tiers, in my opinion. Because when you know that, like I said, this isn't a big budgeted film. This is, like I said, it's all about the atmosphere, the cinematography of catching nature, and just working with these small amount of cast. I mean, you got to think about it. The forest becomes a character. The bear becomes a character, right? But like
shot in 16 days.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I wrote. Easy story. Jenn and Alex go camping. Meet Eric. Meet a bear. Get lost. She somehow survives. Right? I mean, that's the story.
Very simplistic, yeah.
Very simplistic. But again, it's an atmosphere piece, right? It's a character-driven piece. So, I would like to watch it again and dissect dialogue and imagery and, but what's totally obvious is the tension build and the conflict. So if you don't like slow burners, which I'm a fan of the slow burn,
super slow burner.
This is a super slow burn. And the end payoff, don't get me wrong, that scene is phenomenal. But I mean, like I said, like you guys both agreed on, the end was like, yeah, and that's it. She's there. If you take it for like a painting, like take that last image and frame it, and then look into it, I think it's a different kind of ending, you know, and I appreciate that because it's real easy to go with the classical cliches, you know, but to have just that standing image of fear being absolved into comfort, I think that's pretty awesome. Also, 3 different things I pulled out was, you know, man versus wild, man versus man, man versus self. And that's all I got from my notes. I didn't have more time to sit there and write like I did with Nightmare. But I did think this was a great film. I really liked it a lot.
Final thoughts?
I guess, unless you guys got something else to add to the mix.
I'm ready to vote.
Vote? Let's vote.
Rate.
No, let's vote. What are we voting for?
Who do you want to vote
now?
There's a lot I want to vote on.
Let's go. It's after midnight.
Not here it live.
Gonna let it all hang out. After midnight. Oh yeah, it's the 20th episode of Slice and Dice Dreadcast. Let's have a drink and get into that one.
I've been empty a while ago.
I'm taking one more zip and I'm done. All right, well, Backcountry, you could find that one on Netflix, along with Nightmare on Elm Street. So let's rate this, guys. I'm gonna go put my wine away, and you guys start it up.
Jen, after you.
I give it 3.
Okay. Final thoughts?
I think I pretty much said everything. There,
Was this a first time watch for you?
it was.
What drew
Why?
you to pick this movie?
Because I had never seen it, and it was on Netflix, and everybody could easily get it.
Oh, we think alike way too much.
Yeah.
And it was under the category horror, and so I was like, "Ooh," but no.
Oh, we've been fooled before. That's why we instituted my lovely veto rule for non-horror movies that I will not watch for the show because they aren't fucking horror.
Fool me once. Fool me
Shame on
twice.
you.
So, Jim, what's your rating on this one?
You went
I gave it
3. I'm gonna
3.
go.
3?
I'm actually gonna go 3 also. I didn't hate it. It wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen. It's definitely a slow burn.
Whoa.
Had a lot to talk about if we were into foliage and tree, and you know, but no, not today. As it did have a good dynamic. It did have a good back and forth. It was there. The relationship was there.
Ish.
And
I thought they were like
obviously
a
the
new
film-
couple.
yeah, I know. It seemed like a first trip away.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting like this proposal. I was like, wait, what? Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your
No, you're good.
Interrupt.
Yeah,
all
but
your
I mean,
lines.
other than that, yeah, this is your show.
Oh, good. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, the payoff was good. The bear attack was good. Shot very well. Very good close-up scenes of the bear's mouth coming in, and I thought it looked good. The gore was good. Every time they kept panning back to his body on the ground, I was like, "Oh, just get closer. I want to see a little bit more. Get in there."
Yeah.
All right. They kept it. They didn't get straight up in there, which is fine. Yeah. So I'm going to stick with her. Go 3 out of 4. Sorry, 3 out of 5 zombie heads.
It's funny you say that because I watched it on my TV and then I watched that scene again on my phone. And watching it on my phone, it was so detailed, like being like right in my face, and the gore totally looked different than watching it at a distance on my television. It's funny. it was, I don't know if it's because, you know, an iPhone versus an old ass TV. You know what I mean? Not an old ass TV. I mean, it's a 1080 TV, but it's just, I don't know. An iPhone is mint, I guess. But ultimately, you know, I thought this is a well done movie, well written. I would like to see this in short story form where I can like get inside of the characters' heads and like hear their thoughts. I think that'd be interesting, especially the lead female. She was phenomenal. Especially at the end. I mean, you're by yourself, you know, it's not like you're sitting there having dialogue for your third act. Literally 26 minutes of just her, no talking, you know. So I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, you know. You want to see that in its perfect, you watch Evil Dead 2, but this is not slapstick comedy. She can't beat the shit out of herself in the fucking woods. So ultimately though, beautifully shot. There's definitely symbolism that I didn't even get even near yet, and I'd love to. I'd rewatch it. The fact that it's 90 minutes is you know, it doesn't drag on too long. It's definitely on the slower side of the burn. And again, in the end, the payoff, you can't expect something phenomenally crazy. But what this is extremely realistic, because guess what? This shit happens every year multiple times. People get killed by bears camping. So this is one of those movies like, this can really happen. This isn't Freddy. This is real. So that shit is scary. I'm going to go with 4 out of 5 zombie heads.
But the one comment that was made earlier, and I said something, this being called of bear movies, no. No,
yeah,
it is not. I
disagree with that too.
Jaws. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just not.
It's its own movie. It is too. Like
the wilderness movie.
Yeah, it's a wilderness movie, but from the opening, you're not getting Jaws. You know, you're not getting a bear from the get-go. And I'm not, you know, the latter half of the film, yeah, you're getting preyed on by the bear, but I'm expecting fucking Eddie Belfour over there, Eddie Bauer, to fucking come and take me out.
For sure.
Like even another buildup would have been like, they found what, one deer dead? Okay, we're supposed to assume that was the bear that killed the deer. What if fucking Eric Belfour's character was killed and they didn't know? Like, we saw it and we knew, oh shit, this big ass bear is here. When's it gonna get to them? It's kind of like that. Us now, we're waiting. Aside from, let's build up to, is it gonna happen? So just little things like that could have changed it to more of a gory type horror film, more of a less than a build up.
See, it could have been that, but at the same time, I mean, I think this is important to look at from like, again, the human condition, the way a man and a woman interact, the way a woman all of a sudden, you know, because shit goes bad, fucking hates her man, or because a man automatically sees her woman on her phone and takes it away. You know, these are real things that happen, you know. I could countless times, you know, stress is so high, me and my wife want to punch each other in the face, you know what I'm saying? But at the core of it, we still love each other. And yeah, that's that situation that we have, but here in a horror movie, you know? So I think this film really does capture the human condition. And that to me, great cinema, you know? Not for everybody though. Like, again, people, you know, don't want to see this. They want to see shit blow up and fucking, you know, action. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But this is you know, it's like fucking jazz. It's like, you know, it's like art, you know, going to the museum a little. It's got some substance to it. You know,
I watch Gone with the Wind,
you know,
the Notebook. I want to see human condition or relationships. So I'm going to see a horror movie. I want to see some shit get killed.
Oh, well, I want to see a combo of both. You know, I've never seen Gone with the Wind, and I never will. Fuck it.
I like horror in my horror. I don't like romantic, you know, shit in my horror. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. Jen seems to be on my side of the fence, so hopefully I'm right there.
Listen, romance and horror go hand in hand, baby. Love is a scary thing, bro. You can never separate the two. Look, we just talked about Nightmare on Elm Street. Look at the love They even told each other they loved them, Nancy and Glenn. They loved each other, those characters. He might have been a bumbling jock. She might have been the girl next door. It might have been caricatures, but they loved each other.
Yes, he loved them. They loved each other, but then he was fucking obliterated. Let me see that more. I was happy with that.
Well, her fiance got obliterated too in the fucking movie. It just took a little longer.
Yeah, it took fucking an hour and a half.
But there's some gorgeous sequences along the way, man. But hey, being able to build up the tension and make that happen, you know what I mean? And to keep your attention, hey, with what they work with, it's pretty good, man. Pretty good.
It kept my attention because I told John I'd watch it.
Listen,
Wow.
You guys rated it 3 out of 5, which means it's better than average. So
it's not awful. I'm just fucking around, but it's not. It's not a.
It's like when we talked about Rosemary's Baby, and he went. I'm like, I want to go through the screen and grab him.
I did not. Let's go rewatch that episode live right now. I did not.
We will. We can. You definitely did. So yeah, we got that in the books. Well, there's one last thing we got to do before we leave, and that is pick some horror movies. Right, Jim? We're picking.
Jen, you're picking 2 more, girl.
Wait, what?
So
what? I have to pick more?
no, you don't have to actually you don't have to actually pick movies. You just have to select random numbers, and whatever comes out is the movies that we'll cover on the next episode, because the next episode is actually recorded already, believe it or not, folks. Boom shakalaka.
Yes.
Whoa.
So yeah,
It's one for Miss Malvolia because that's what we wanted to do. So episode 21 will be out in a couple days, and the movies we picked tonight will be for episode 22, I believe. So
Ooh.
and veto is in
the
effect.
The veto is in effect. We each get 1 veto. All right. So the way this works is we are on Shudder. Now you're gonna pick a number between 1 and 23, right? Then after that, you're gonna pick a number between 1 and 5 twice. All right. So between 1 and 23.
11.
11. All right, now I need 5 by 5. So you pick 1 and 5 and then 1 and 5.
3
Okay.
and 1.
Okay, Night of the Creeps.
All right.
All right. A classic, an 80s classic right here.
All right.
An 80s B classic. All right.
Is that being vetoed?
No, not at all.
Ooh.
We're good.
Ooh.
And then, all right, another one between 1 and 23.
Another one between 1 and 23?
Yep.
16.
16. All right, and then a 5, 1 and 5, and 1 and 5.
2,
2.
4, and 4.
Manborg. Didn't this come up again? Didn't this
Came
come
up
up?
and we
once?
beat the fuck out of it. No.
Oops, sorry.
So you're vetoing it. Is that what you're telling me?
It's the second time it came up. We're not watching Manborg.
All right. All right. We're going to have to.
Film for a fucking horror. Oh, come on.
Maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's a sign that you have to watch it.
Maybe it's a sign Shudder needs to take it off their goddamn website.
Oh, man. I'm not opposed to Manborg.
No. Come on.
It's got 4 out of 5 skulls. All right. I ain't going to argue, Holmes. All right. Another one between 1 and 23.
How about we go with 7?
Lucky number 7. All right. Another 5 by 5.
Let's do 3.
All right.
Do 4.
Ooh, Fright Night. Okay. Now we're talking, folks. That sounds like an episode,
Oh, we
Jimmy.
didn't watch Fright Night yet?
No, we never did Fright Night.
What did we do?
I don't know. What did we do? Fright Night, the vampire flick.
Yeah, I know what it is. I
No,
thought
we never
we
covered
didn't do
this. No way, homie. I would have known.
that. This is the one with Brewster in it, right?
Yeah, you don't have a veto, so it doesn't matter. This is what we're doing. Oh shit! This is this is the one with this is the one with Marcy from Married with Children.
Yeah, I know what it is. Okay. But it wasn't this one. Okay, never mind. Oh, 976 Evil. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, he's in this one. 9676 Evil.
Yeah, remember I said, oh, he's in the nerd in 976 Evil is Brewster's friend in Fright Night. So now we're actually watching.
Yeah. All right. So it sounds like a plan. All right. Great. Well, Jen, thank you for selecting some great movies for next time.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Excellent. Well, here we are, folks. It's the end of the line. It's been a great episode. Great 20th episode. Gotta say. Had a great time.
20 more.
To 20 more. And we're on par to do a lot more episodes than Death by Podcast.
The B Show.
The B Show. Hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh boy. Conflict.
And I do want to say, Jen, you are welcome anytime if you see what movies we have coming on and you would like to be on to talk about them.
Only if you
always invited.
Manborg.
All right, well, it was good talking to you, Jen. Sucks you're never going to be back on.
Darn. You know what? I'm gonna watch Manborg and then write a book report about it and come on here and tell you everything about it.
Oh, come on, stop. You can't tell me things like that. You're gonna write a book report on it. She's perfect for the show. I think we need a new resident co-host.
Too funny.
Seriously though, it's a pleasure, Jen. Thanks for coming on. It was
Thank you.
It was a great evening. Did not feel like I was sitting on this uncomfortable chair for 3 hours.
I had to move around. Yeah, I moved my set around a little bit because that chair I was using it felt like shit. So I got a nice little rocker right now.
I got this whole seltzer still because I drink all that wine. Whoops.
I only had 2 beers. That's not bad.
All right, people.
And, we will keep on sharing and posting and retweeting all your stuff. So
yes, find her on
Thank
Facebook.
You.
Find her on Twitter. Jenn Nangle and Queen Malvolia, the Queen of Screams. Malvolia, the Queen of Screams.
Yeah.
Google it.
Yeah.
Check her YouTube out. Check her short films out. How can we get those short films anyway?
A couple of them you can't see because they're still in the film festival circuit, so they're on private. But I can send it to you if you want to watch it.
Hey,
we get a lot of private.
We can get the Don to write a review for the website.
Oh, there we go. We could totally do that.
Definitely.
But other short films, like you can watch The Deal. The Deal's on YouTube, and that's on my personal YouTube page, which is just Jennifer Nangle, actress Jennifer Nangle or something like that. Yeah.
Just Jennifer.
I did want to ask you if you would. If there was any way to
just Jennifer.
I did want to ask if there was any way to get us some links to your other stuff since we couldn't really find any. So yeah, anything you can do.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys for sure. For sure.
Excellent. All right. And then next episode we have the Purge trilogy on deck. We have Jay McCott, our old co-host. Like we've been doing this for years. Again, our listeners know the deal already, but for those of you who are new to the show, James was our co-host. You could check our back catalog with episodes with him. He got a new job where he's had some intense training and he's going to be away for 3 months. So we recorded an episode in advance covering the Purge trilogy. And if you guys know, I'm already a snob when it comes to watching Hollywood horror films. I shun them. And here, my unsnobbiness, I'm not that snobby.
My reviews are incredible on this episode. You really need to listen when this comes out too. So
Oh yeah, parallel to none. Parallel to none. Okay.
I watched 0 of the 3.
Purges?
Kicked in
No,
the
I saw the
ass.
first.
I love the purge. I want a purge.
I would love to purge.
Purge party, a purge party, baby.
Oh my! All right, let's wrap it up. All right.
folks.
Yes, thanks again, Jen, and yeah, everybody go on our Facebook page. We'll share everything of hers, and hopefully vice versa. And we'll try to network and get our shit out there and make more fans. And we'll get together soon. We'll get back online. And this thing called the internet is a fucking miracle because me and Joe met through Twitter. Me and you met through Twitter. Now we all 3 are doing a show together. It's incredible. So shout out to internet. Good job.
Twitter.
Yeah, and shout out to James and the Twitter. No, Instagram webpage.
Slice and Dice Dreadcast _ between every word. Slice
The
and
best
Dice.
horror memes out there. Slice and Dice Dreadcast.
Yes. Twitter is at Horror Dreadcast.
And check out the upcoming next Death by Podcast where we cover Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. We're in the middle of our Alien franchise proper retrospective. So that's coming up next week. And The Purge will be out sometime after this. Next week, the latest.
And for episode 22, we have Fright Night and Night of the Creeps. So
yes,
good few episodes coming up here. And we do need a co-host for that episode. Hopefully we can get somebody good.
We got a couple people that are interested, so I don't know.
Nobody's going to be as good as
what are we
Nangle
going,
over
like
here,
3
but-
hours already?
Yeah, I know. Time flies when you're having a good time. Huh?
Yep, that's for sure.
on 2 hours and 4.
Hell yeah.
And you guys aren't sick of me yet. That's cool.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, not at all. It's,
If you have the time, we'll offer you the full-time job. Shit.
Yeah, listen, the slot can get, if there's somebody that can fill that slot, it can get filled. You never know. And we want Jen. The Queen's great, but we want Jen on the show.
Yeah, Jen's more fun.
We'll take Jen. We'll take.
Yes. You
All
never know. You never know.
That was a big
You never
fat
know.
no. All right. Thank you again, everybody.
All right.
Everybody who watched on YouTube, shout out. Thanks for commenting. Please share. Please like. Please subscribe. Please do all that fun shit. Slice and Dice, Dread, and all our stuff. So another thank you to Jenn Nangle, a.k.a. Queen Malvolia. And again, and
Rock and roll, folks. Smoke weed every day.